NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Live from Mod Pizza on 75th Avenue and Bell Road. That is 7480 West Bell Road, Suite 110. That sounds funny, though, doesn't it? Suite 110. It's actually a restaurant. It's a great restaurant, Mod Pizza. This is Real Hockey Talk. I'm Dave Isaac alongside Greg and the hockey guru from Boston who lives in Phoenix, the 119-degree Phoenix. Rick.
Love it.
You love it?
Love it.
Because you were used to the snow all the time.
I hate it. Well, the snow was fine, but this heat's good. I don't have to look at the weather report anymore. Just get out and
get a tan.
If it's raining, get back in the house.
Yeah, it rarely rains. I can't remember. When's the last time, Greg, you remember?
Well, soon it'll probably start again with the monsoon. Although with the monsoon, it's more of the lightning storm, dust storms. Sometimes you don't see a lot of rain. It will go boop, boop, and then it's done.
And the flash flood.
Yeah, you'll get a little flash flood. A couple days, and then
sometimes there's a 100-year flash flood. I think we're overdue for that.
Great.
Yeah, I know. You do know how to swim, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. I like your hats. You have NHL, NBC. You have same one. What do I have?
NBC Sports.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have NHL?
No.
Oh.
No, and yours is kind of the thin little one.
These two cost more, so we have to.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. See, value goes with value.
Right.
That's exactly the. So, boy, this was the busiest week in hockey I can remember in ever. Actually.
We're not done either.
No, but it's amazing and a lot of interesting stuff, good stuff, and sort of unfortunate stuff. I think the good, bad, and the ugly, and that's where we enter into what did I learn this week. And who wants to go first? Me? Oh no, Rick or Greg or me?
I think I went first last week.
So should I go?
If you want, or I can.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, because this is.
Because I could debate what you say.
Yeah, he may debate.
Probably will.
And he probably will. What did I learn this week? The segment is what did I learn this week? Okay, here's what I learned: is loyalty is not valued under new Coyotes ownership. That's what I learned this week. And of course, I'm talking about Shane Doan, the great captain for many years, played only for the Coyotes. Of course, started with Winnipeg, but moved over here with the Coyotes. And to me, I mean, Shane Doan, he sacrificed opportunities, money with other teams with a possible run for a Stanley Cup, only to find his loyalty to the Coyotes only matters depending on who owns the team.
And I disagree with the money part.
Okay, but
he made more money here than he would have anywhere else.
Oh, I don't think so, but we'll debate that 7 years ago when he signed.
And I disagree with most of the other stuff.
Okay, but so 8 ownership changes in 21 years, of course, does not go well with stability or probably loyalty. He was not asked, as everyone knows, not to return to the team he's only played for his whole career. Now, the question for callers, and we could give the number out later, who was Doan loyal to when he decided to be loyal? Was it the city of Glendale? Was it Phoenix? Was it the state of Arizona? Was it the NHL as a role model for fans to love his values of loyalty over money? The ownership, it's always been in flux. There was really not one owner appreciated, Doan as the loyal guy he is. I don't think. I mean, there's potential owners that appreciated him, that said, hey, don't worry, we'll stay here. That was Jameson, I think, at least one of them. But a new high-leverage debt for the team, uncertainty where the Coyotes will play next year, how to cover cash requirements. This is the formula for money over a special, unique player who laid it all out on the line for the Coyotes. What's the moral of the story?
Are you looking at me?
Anyone who wants to debate me.
I just don't agree with that. And the reason is loyalty is important, but in sports, it could be a little different. Now, letting Doan go or say, we're not bringing you back, it's a correct move. And I think we've talked about before that is, for Doan himself, maybe time to call it quits unless, chases the cup perhaps with another team. Now, the way it was done, I agree that
all right, that makes
sense. Could have been different. Now, there's some talk that maybe Doan's side, because obviously he was upset, maybe went out quickly to, the media, not on purpose, not to throw anyone under the bus or anything. But the point is, yes, I don't agree with the way it was handled. It's definitely the right move. Look at loyalty. Look at their division rival. Look at the Kings. Mike Richards should have been when they had the compliance buyouts where it wouldn't have affected your cap. Dean Lombardi, way too loyal, and it cost him his job. And Mike Richards has a 1.67 cap with the Kings still for like the next 15 years or something because of that. Loyalty in life, it's important, and to an extent in sports. However, in this case, it's the right move. The Richards thing would have been the right to let him go and some other things. So, again, the way they did it, I don't agree with, perhaps.
And that's mainly what I'm talking about.
Right,
loyalty
communicated different.
From the PR standpoint, because how can this affect the Coyotes moving forward? It depends. I mean, they called me already. Hey, you want season tickets? But the thing is, I asked, well, what's what's the feedback on the Shane Doan deal? And they go, well, we're getting mixed reviews. But the thing is that everyone I've spoken to, they're not happy with, the way they did it.
Right, and people want a winner, and this is the best chance. And now, obviously, after this happened, there's good things that happened that change things a little bit. But, yeah, that's the point there. And sometimes that initial shock of kind of like that breakup, where even though it's the right move, you might have some like, oh, no. But at the end of the day, I think all parties and a lot of the hardcore fans of the team love the move. Maybe some casual ones that know, Shane Doan, and then who are the other players? Those are the ones that maybe, and understandably might be, oh, no, but it's the right move, and it's good
the right
that
move, the wrong way to do it.
It wasn't presented well, but and that's the sad part. And you ask about loyalty. Shane Doan was very loyal to his family these years.
That's true.
With his children. Okay, so that's a key component. I said the part about money. I look at the last 8 years of his great career. Made more money than he would have gotten anywhere else. He also got top 6 minutes.
Right.
He got power play minutes. He was the captain. He was the face of the franchise, and he was able to build a legacy. And that's why he didn't walk away from it. Now, the way they handled it, terrible. But that shouldn't surprise anybody. They didn't really have anything in place to properly talk to him. New ownership. Obviously there was an issue with Tippett that was building. He went into there and wanted to support Mike Smith and Shane Doan. That's the rumor. And he was told we're going a different direction, and, all three are out.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it's almost like ripping that Band-Aid right off, and that's what they did.
But I think it was about 7 years ago, 8 years, he signed a new, I think, a 5-year deal, and I think it was, what was
12
it?
after the final, Western Conference final.
4.5, maybe $5 million.
I don't remember.
But it wasn't any more than that, and he definitely could have got a little bit more somewhere.
Well, I'll disagree.
I mean, at that stage of his career, but I guess you don't know.
34 years old. No one's getting a 4-year deal at that age.
No, that was...
Well, I think he, years-wise, I believe he could have got at other places. I don't know about annual per year money-wise, but whether he took less or not, the point is maybe more stability if he would have left. Now, remember, they were coming off a successful run, but because of the ownership stuff still, obviously, there was that going on. But I think it's looking almost too far into it in that case. I just think right move, and
the first 24 hours were emotional.
Yeah.
Then if you heard him the next day, obviously his agent went out and said some things. He wants to go win a cup. He had his chance at the trade deadline the last 2 or 3 years. He could have done that and legitimately had a chance.
Right.
And you hear people, well, he's going to go to the Blackhawks. He's going to go. He's not. Those guys aren't going to take a 40-year-old guy that scored 6 goals. It's just not going to happen, and he knows that. I think the dust has settled a little bit. He should get a job and be the face of the Coyotes franchise in the community and do here what like Nashville did for that community and build up the hockey base.
Now, the thing with Shane is that, yes, because they did offer him front office, when he retires, but the interesting thing will be this. before the news came out to him, before he had breakfast with, John Chaika about, the decision, he wanted to come back, keep playing. Let's see what happens, because it is interesting that he had a strong offensive year the year before this, and then obviously this past year was awful. Now, the thing is, regarding it is with Shane, is that there could be that motivation. Okay, you know what, maybe a little pressure off. I go out there 1 year with a contender. Now, what contenders would be interested, as you said? The good thing is that you have, the 75 mil cap. It's gone up a little. So some contenders at this stage now could, if Doan's willing to take it, could go, hey, a year, $1 million a year, we'll get you on. Now, it does need to be the right fit, because a speed game now with a lot of these teams, and he's not a top 6 guy anymore, so he'd need to go in your bottom 6, all that stuff. But I do think there'll be some interest. At the deadline, there wasn't, but I think there will be a few teams that will say, okay, we'll see. And who knows, maybe it could be, a team like Calgary, heading
right
back up to Alberta, something like that. But after the dust continues to settle, though, it could be interesting to see, what he has going on here. But we'll get Barry on the line. He has a question about the situation going on, and then we'll go to Rick. But Barry, how are things going?
Good. How you guys doing? Love your show.
Thank you very much.
I just want to make a comment, and then I'll listen to what you. This is just, of course, just one person's opinion. My opinion. I think the way the Shane Doan thing, as far as I could tell from reading the paper and listening to sports radio, was handled is horrible business. Horrible.
Yeah.
And I say that thinking of many things as fans, but you also got to think of how this affects the young players who see this happen. Let's say you're a young player on the Coyotes and you're asked to do an event in public to showcase the team, but you've got family issues. Well, if Shane Doan, as an example, was treated respectfully as for what he did for 20 years, you'd say, well, look at what Shane did and look how he was treated. Now you say, no, I don't really want to do that for the team, because look what happened to Shane Doan. He did it for 20 years. He was treated like crap. He was told in 8 minutes that he was gone. I've had businesses. You don't tell somebody who's gone, and sometimes people need to go, no question. You don't tell somebody who's been in a business for 20 years in 8 minutes that they're gone. That's just not the way to do things.
I totally agree with you.
A franchise like this is really, in my opinion, almost a public trust. You're dealing with fans, you're dealing with media, you're dealing with a lot of things that you're not dealing with in business. So if anything, I think ownership should be more sensitive about how they handle this kind of issue, not less sensitive. I think it was handled from a business. I'm not talking from a sports standpoint, from a business standpoint. Horrible, and I'm worried about how the younger players who see this, how much that affects their allegiance to the Coyotes.
Because when you
if
think
Shane can be treated this way, they can be treated this way. I'll listen to see what you guys think about what I've just said. Thanks for hearing me out.
thanks Barry.
Thanks. You make a valid point, the way you manage people and the way you handle things with dignity. But if you look at the way this roster is going to be put together, and you're seeing it right now, there's going to be so much changeover. Mm-hmm. There's going to be very few people left. Brad Richardson will be there, and obviously Ekman Larson, some of the core guys. But there's such a change going on right here. People will forget, unfortunately. At the end of the day, that you're a number. You are a piece of meat. He had a great career, and it'll be time for everybody to move on. They'll learn from this, I hope.
Yeah, from the PR standpoint, and like how Dave and Barry had mentioned, from that standpoint, I agree in that it was wrong how it went down. But maybe the selfish part of it is that for the team, though, this is going to be better. And I think the players will understand. There might be a little bit of that, like, but maybe it's a learning experience now, because Barraway just taken over, and I guess the league is still saying he can't publicly come out per se.
Gag order, right?
Yeah, and so it made it a little difficult. But again, we'll see, because I know Shane the last few days, it's actually been a situation where maybe there's a miscommunication. It was bad PR the way it went down, but now we're getting over it, and I think the players will be fine. And now the players are looking like, wow, we've made some nice moves, and so Dave.
I think Barry's perspective. I think he understands the cruelty in sports, but he's talking from a business perspective, and that totally makes sense to me, because you don't know how it could affect morale off the ice and on the ice. And he was specifically talking about even some of the young players. He's out in the community. It creates an awkward situation, because he was a great captain to all these young players. And I would agree, it's probably the best move, but it was not done with any type of business etiquette or business compassion, and that's part of the equation of a winning organization is the leadership, is the how you do things, not what you do. What they did is they got rid of them, but how you do it is equally as important or more. So I agree with Barry totally, and we'll see how it is, end of the day, impactful on this. It's sometimes hard to predict. It does send a message. Sometimes you got good management, nice management that seems to care, and sometimes you don't. I'm not saying they don't, but we don't know that yet. The way they did it, it seems like they don't. And it could have an impact. We're not mind readers, but I'm saying it could.
It's safe to say that the Arizona Cardinals, when the time comes for Larry Fitzgerald, are not going to do it this way.
Well, that's true. See, it's a good lesson. That's
right.
a good news.
But sometimes you wait to let the player dictate it on their terms. And I think Larry Fitzgerald is going to be the one to say, hey, I'm done. I'm not going to put anyone in this situation.
Right.
As he contemplated this offseason. There may have been going into this with Doan missing those last regular games of the season. A lot of people didn't think he said, okay, he's not coming back. Let's start getting the party ready for him. Then he says he wants to come back.
Yeah, but the party is missing. Maybe it's still not, but the way it was done, they could have done it differently. So that's all I'm saying.
Hopefully it's better than the Radim Verbata painting that they put together there. And I was at that game.
They did a painting of Radim
of his career, of all the teams he played on, and it looked like it was done with paint by numbers.
It was adorable. And that's the thing, though. They'll get his jersey retired, as soon as they can, all that stuff, and that will also start to make some time. Real quick, what I learned is basically what we just talked about, in the sense of one day everyone's sad and like, oh no, and then the very next day there's all these happy because John Chaika at 27, I believe he still is, what he's able to do was just fabulous, and how quickly changing the guard there in terms of the on-ice product. And, we'll talk more about that, of course, in the moves that he made. But amazing how, maybe other media out here and from fan perspective were a lot, even though they did agree with the Doan thing, a lot were still upset with the PR part, as you guys talked about.
Right.
And it worried them a little bit. And then all of a sudden, within a few days,
I thought he did a nice job, too. Yeah. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll dissect that a little bit.
But I do want to say, his last 5-year deal was 2007, actually, for $4.550. He definitely could have got more.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have gotten more money. Oh, hello,
we
everyone.
will agree to disagree.
Okay, but we'll do that debate later.
Yeah, we will.
But at that time, he could have got another extra maybe $1.5 million, I think. But we'll talk about it later. And let's see. So we just did. You didn't do yours yet?
Yeah.
How could we forget the hockey guru?
I wouldn't have let you slip.
That says NHL NBC on it.
There was a time about 10 years ago I had the opportunity to move to in business. It would have taken me to the Denver area.
Yeah.
And I had declined for a bunch of reasons that I don't need to get into right now. And I look back and talk about fate. Thank God I didn't move to the Denver area, because officially right now, what did I learn? The Colorado Avalanche are the worst franchise in the National Hockey League.
Yes.
Rock bottom. There's not a close second. I don't know where Joe Sakic has been this week. I saw him go up there and make a draft selection, okay? Mm-hmm. But one of my favorite country bands is a West Texas swing band called Asleep at the Wheel. and Joe Sakic is asleep at the wheel. He's treating Matt Duchene, Landeskog, and Nate McKinnon like these guys are the crown jewels. He had the opportunity at this draft to do something. Okay, with all these other moves going on, he did nothing. I don't get it. I'm Joe Sakic is. I'm glad I'm not an Avalanche fan.
It was very amazing how nothing really happened there.
No buzz, no rumors, now he wants so much for Matt Duchene. He wants a top one defenseman for him. He is dreaming.
I think
that's what I learned.
Yeah, I think he might be in that way overpriced mode, and that could be a problem.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, with the Sakic situation, obviously one of the great players we've seen, but as a GM, he's just done awful. I do like their pick there in the first round. However, I was shocked. I thought we would see that activity. Now, I'll give it a little more time, per se, if next week something does go down. But if he priced himself too out and teams just don't want to do business with him now, or price himself out to where now, Duchene is upset saying, because Duchene wants to get out of there. I mean, he sort of has said that, but not harshly, right? And it could be the point Duchene goes back over to him and says, okay, I'm done. You got to move me now.
Right.
And so you get in that situation where then you won't get back top value for him. And so it'll be interesting to see what does happen. But, I know there had been rumors that, the Islanders, some of their people said they had offered Hamonic, who ended up getting moved. We'll talk about that later.
Right. Good move for Calgary.
Oh, yeah, possibly a first-round pick and more, which would have been way more than enough for Matt Duchene. So it'd be, Joe Sakic. I'm not sure. I feel bad for the fans there. They had a great run, obviously, after they moved from Quebec, and for a while they were just an outstanding team. But
they are right now a league joke.
48 points last season. I mean,
they might get 50 this year.
They want the number one pick. They didn't get it this year, though.
No.
Yeah, some bad luck there.
Yeah, real bad luck, actually. Unlike Edmonton, always seems to be good luck. So, we're at the end of the segment. And so, Greg, if they want to call in, what do we know of the number?
Oh, yeah. Well, call in, talk draft, Coyotes,
trades,
anything going on in the NHL world, 602-260-1060. That's 602-260-1060. And we'll talk throughout the show about everything going on in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, and a lot going on, by the way. We're live broadcasting at Mod Pizza, 7480 West Bell Road, Suite 110 in Glendale. That's 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. This great pizza place, Conrad West, the GM, phenomenal. It's a nice crowd out here right now. And again, live from Mod Pizza on 75th Avenue and Bell Road. This is Real Hockey Talk. We'll be right back after these words.
Had a rough Friday night? We've all been there. Jumpstart your weekend by tuning in to the Sports Hangover. Saturday mornings from 8 to 10, only on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from Mod Pizza on 75th Avenue and Bell Rose. Bell Rose? What's a Bell Rose? It must be road for plural. Okay. And that's 7480 West Bell Road, Suite 110, Glendale. Come on down. We're here till 3. It's a great place. I think they're open till, at least 10? Probably later than that.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe 11 or 12. It's great pizza, salad. You name it. They have some really quality food. I'm Dave alongside Greg and the hockey guru from Boston, who lives in Phoenix, loves it in Phoenix, doesn't like the snow in Boston.
Nope.
The sports is pretty good, though.
It is. The sports are great. Thank God we have DirecTV.
That's right. You could still watch whatever you want to watch.
That's why I have DirecTV. I get NESN and the Red Sox and the Bruins, and it's all good.
You get it all good. So, anyway, so we'll talk a little bit more about, the massive changes since Andrew Barway became sole owner earlier this month. So Mike Smith, as we said, he's gone. Dona's gone. But Tippett was in Chicago, anxiously awaiting the draft action, and was
No, they knew it was happening.
I know, but he was in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, he got. Let's remember, he got bought out.
Yeah, he did.
He wasn't fired.
Right.
No, he mutually agreed. He didn't want to be here.
It wasn't going to work. He went in there, old school. I want Mike Smith. I want Shane Doan.
Yeah.
There was tension between him and the owners.
Yeah.
We've been talking on this program for quite a while. It was time to go.
We agree on that.
Right,
yeah.
great career, but it comes to a point where you want to go in a different direction with young talent. You need a different style coach.
Yeah,
I would agree.
Oh, yeah. Rick said, I mean, for the last couple of months,
right.
That's all we talk about. And Tip, a great guy, and he is a great coach in the right situation. And, you know, for a contender or sometimes getting the most out of guys, maybe, you know, a guy that you can have a team maybe with limited skill, but he could get stuff out. But now they have that skill in terms of these young guys coming up. And you need the proper coach in there, Jim Montgomery. And so if you do it correctly,
he's on the
maybe.
list.
Yeah, he would be a good addition. But there's some others we'll get into with that.
If they go the rehash route of a Dan Bealsma or Bob Hartley, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
You'll hear me screaming on the microphone if they rehash these guys again.
But how likely would they, since
I don't
played
know.
their hands?
I think they should go, like I said, Jim Montgomery. Dallas Eakins is who's at San Diego. He's ready for a job.
After Edmonton.
At the top of the list for me is Todd Nelson, who was at Grand Rapids who just won the Calder Cup. Had a little bit there with the Oilers. He's my guy.
He's your guy.
Now, what I don't know is if they have to ask permission for the Red Wings. That I don't know.
They probably would, but those guys, good options. And then another is Kruger. I know he's overseas now. He has a good job. I forget which country he's in now doing that. But if somehow, former Oiler coach could get him over, I think he would do well with some of the young guys as well. So there are good pickings. But, Rick, as he said, and I think Chaika knows this, and is that you got to be careful who you go for, because you don't want to go for the same type of situation type of thing. You got to get the guy that could really help these young guys. And with Eakins, I know when he was the Oilers coach, they struggled a bit, but I don't fully blame that on him. Plus, he learned.
The team.
Yeah, and he'll learn, and he learned, and so he wouldn't be a bad option. But that Jim Montgomery, just something about him, what he's been able to do with the college team there and everything, I think he would just be. I really thought he was going to get the Florida job there for a while. And I know L.A. Wanted John Stevens as head coach all along, but I believe they offered Montgomery a ton of money to take, not just assistant coach.
So you don't want Darryl Sutter to come out of retirement?
Coyote fans are praying, no, not another Tippett. I think some of those guys that you mentioned would be nice for them. And for the young guys, just the way the roster is set up.
Right.
So when that should come pretty quick. I mean,
you would think so, because they're building a team right now without an engineer. I mean, they have a conductor, which is good, but they need someone to. Yeah. I mean, you look at Las Vegas. I mean, George McPhee. I mean, he's the star of the day. What he's done. Yeah. But he's also had Gerard Gallant right there beside him.
Oh yeah,
that was important to get that coach,
yes,
no doubt. And
well, especially they have the prospect. Camps and things coming up here in a week
Next
or so.
Week.
And so you kind of want to know, who, even though the head coach a lot of times maybe isn't at that initial one that you have during the summer.
They're in the stands, they're watching.
Exactly, and you still know, okay, this is the type of system we'll have. So, I'm sure they'll, you don't want to rush into it, but I'm sure Chaika and company already has someone or a few guys in mind that before the set, because I think the Tippett situation had gone on longer than it let out, and he was going to go back anyways because his home in Minnesota, there was a tornado that had caused damage, and luckily, I believe his family's okay, but so he, had to make his way back there anyways.
Well, that's tough. That's a tough one.
Clearly, the team made a movement towards youth.
No question, and I think I am sort of impressed. I will say, Chaika, right? I gave an incomplete because I didn't know, but I thought he did a pretty decent job with some of these trades, and he was smart about it. He looked at, like Oliver Ekman Larson with, what he would need as a top pairing guy, and I thought that trade was a very good trade.
Well, I mean, Chicago. Look at Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically, Stan Bowman, when he went into that locker room and they had that tirade when they got knocked off by Nashville in 4, you're seeing the results of paying Patrick Kane and Taves that amount of money. You've got roster issues.
$10 million each, right?
And when I say that, think Edmonton. Because on the horizon right now, you have Connor McDavid and Draisaitl. You got $19 million to split between the two of them. Are you going to give McDavid 14 and 5 to Draisaitl? No, he's gone.
Yeah.
So there's a problem brewing in Edmonton right now. You're seeing it with Chicago right now. Now, Panarin moves. They bring Brandon Saad back. When I first heard that, I said, that's crazy. You let the guy go, now you're bringing him back. They must have missed something in the locker room.
Taves. Yeah, Taves and Kane. I got them mixed.
Right. Taves wanted Brandon Saad, so.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, they did very well together.
So, get back to the Coyotes.
Yeah.
We're all excited. They made moves. These are the risks. Connor Murphy was one of my higher grades.
I remember that. Okay? I gave him a C, but you gave him a
B plus, I believe. Now, he's a right-handed shot.
Right.
They've given up 2 right-handed shots in Stone, now Murphy, back-to-back. They have not replaced right-handed shots on the blue line. They bring in Chalmelson. Now, he's almost played 700 games. He's got 3 cups.
He's got some mileage.
He's an old 30 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's my only concern about that. Now, he is going to be with Ekman-Larsson. My concern is you take a guy like Chalmelson. He's been playing with Brent Seabrook and Duncan Keith. He doesn't have those guys anymore. Well, let's just see what he does.
That's a good point.
Without that, and coupled with that, we hope that Antti Raanta is a number 1 goalie. And I hope.
I think that's the key word. I was talking to Greg about that. He sort of disagreed, but he could speak in a second.
He's all excited over it.
But the Raanta, I think he's had, is about 92 save percentage, limited games. His career is only 91, same as Mike Smith.
Right.
But the question is, he's not, until you're a number 1 goalie, you're not a number 1 goalie. He's got to prove it, and that's the biggest, I think, key of all this.
He's had 4 years in the Blackhawks and in New York. Those are big media markets, though. Okay.
Sure.
Now he's not in a media market. He's going to go from playing 94 games spread over 4 years, 30 was his high last year, to 55 this year.
So that's going to be the key. And, who knows, right? You just don't know.
He doesn't have the same team in front of him that the Rangers had either.
That's true to an extent. Now, the thing is, with Raanta in Chicago, you had Crawford there. And then with the Rangers, now Hank got hurt. Yeah, and Hank got hurt, and he filled in outstanding. To the point where I know there's rumblings that, obviously Hank is the face of that team, all that stuff. But for some reason, if that star power wasn't there, they really high with Raanta. And with all the money Hank was making, not saying they would have done anything like by Hank, but I think that now he gets that opportunity to show it. I agree there's question. You never know what could happen. But the ability is there. There's that excitement. He could take the job and run. It'll be interesting to see who's backing him up, whether it's a Johnson, if they did sign him, but I don't know if they will.
I don't know.
Or, Domingue, however they do that. So, to make sure that you don't overplay him per se. But I think that's an exciting thing now with Hjalmarsson. I think you have one of the top defensive defensemen in the league, and what makes it great is he'll be playing with Ekman-Larsson, and Ekman-Larsson, unfortunately with the tragedy that had been going on last year with his mom, who did pass away at the end of the season, he had a tough year. Now he's rejuvenated. He'll captain the team. You get a great leader in Hjalmarsson who's won those cups. He knows what it takes. And then it allows Ekman-Larsson to kind of roam freely again a little bit because of how good Hjalmarsson is. And, they may not have the overall top 4 per se that Chicago had. However, in some ways you just worry about, he'll be playing with Ekman-Larsson. And all he has to do is his job, and he's great at doing his job. I think he'll be fine.
Well, hope. Hope is the key here. I mean, Nicholas Chalmelson is a top pairing defenseman. He is a defensive defenseman. He's not Larry Robinson. Okay, all right. So Ekman Larson still can't decide to become Erik Karlsson or Bobby Orr overnight. He's still got to be aware. They made moves. They're positive moves. I miss Murphy. No one's talking about Anthony DeAngelo. I know he's had problems. Okay?
Yeah.
You watch DeAngelo become a stud in New York.
No, and he very well may,
right.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, with Chychrun there as well, I mean, now there's some other guys in the system, but I don't think they're done as well. I do believe they tried to get Hamonic still, which obviously, going to Calgary, which Calgary improves.
Calgary right now has their defensemen of Brody, Dougie Hamilton, Giordano, and now Hamonic.
Filthy.
Who's the big winner today? Mike Smith.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He's got they're the top 3 in the league in front of him right now.
Oh, yeah.
And think of the rest of the West. You're the L.A., you're these, and it's like, oh, here we go.
Why Calgary? It's funny. They didn't give up, even though they gave up a lot in terms of picks, but when they got Hamilton a couple drafts back, it was for draft picks, and then, of course, this also for that as well. Now, it's value-wise, they did give up a lot when you have first-rounders, second-rounders in there, but getting a legit top 4 guy, yeah, like you said, their top 4 is amazing. But Chalmerson's one of my favorites. I think they're going to do fantastic in the leadership now that these guys bring, especially with a void of leadership, with Doan going out. But now you got these guys that, Ranta had also been with Chicago when they won a cup. And then, Stepan has experience, getting to the final and going on some nice runs there. So I think they use their assets wisely. But, yeah, I think DeAngelo, I hope in New York he does well because he definitely has potential to be a nice offensive
right now,
defenseman.
the Coyotes look to be strong up the middle with 4 pretty good centermen, with Stepan Dvorak, number 2. You know they're counting on Strome as number 3.
Yeah.
And then Brad Richardson is your 4th guy. I mean, that's a good building block. You look at Nashville. I mean, they didn't really have – I still don't think Johansson's really a number 1 guy. They have 4 good lines. So they're strong up the middle. They got younger. Mm-hmm. They're not done.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to still go after a number – maybe with Minnesota. I mean, they still have some defensemen that are looking to move. But then they still need that winger, the top 6 guy. And it's tough because – there's so few out there. Then you could look at free agency, but, there's not a lot there. And the ones that maybe have been goal scorers in the past, or past is the key word, they're now in their mid-30s and, don't know what you want to do. But we'll see. Verbata, maybe they re-sign him, and we'll see if he could still provide magic like he did last year. There's still a lot of questions with them, but I just think the improvement, along with what Calgary did, I think both these teams just improved significantly these last couple days.
I don't think they improved enough to make a playoff spot. I think they improved enough to put more butts in the seats in Glendale and make it a little bit more entertaining.
Yeah.
Calgary, I'm just looking at the West as a whole.
Oh, it's tough.
I'm looking at both conferences, and I'm saying who's gone forward, who's gone backward, and I worry now for teams in the West, the teams like San Jose, Winnipeg, and I'm going to put L.A. in there to what some of the other teams have did. I see the Sharks and the Kings battling it out for that last playoff spot.
It's possible they can. With Winnipeg, what's interesting though is they're young guys that are already on the team and some more coming up. If they can get a goaltender.
Exactly.
If they had a goalie, this team would be
and they're
it's
another
frustrating
team that did
for their
nothing.
fans.
Yeah.
Well, as of now, I mean, the thing is there's so much time. I mean, they obviously had, made that trade with Vegas, so, Vegas wouldn't, draft Enstrom.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to like with Winnipeg. I mean, this will be a fun team to watch once again. But, yeah, I mean, they need that goaltender.
Yeah.
And in free agency, maybe they take a dip and go after Brian Elliott if he's willing, to go to Winnipeg or something. Now, obviously, he had a tough time with Calgary. We went on a hot streak in the second half, but they just need a goaltender. And if they had that, it's amazing to see how good that team could potentially be because they are just filled with riches of young guys.
They are. They've drafted really well. we haven't even talked about Dallas yet. Now they get Ben Bishop.
Oh,
They're going to improve.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's going to be such a grind next year.
Oh, yeah.
To make the playoffs.
And Dallas, with obviously with getting with the lottery, hitting well there, and getting the third overall pick, you got another great young defensive asset. Even though he won't be on the team right away, things like that, but building up that system still behind some of the top guys. And even though a guy like Ken Hitchcock, he definitely wore out his welcome in St. Louis. He's there so many years.
Everywhere he goes, he wears it out.
He does, and most coaches at some point do. But
he's
with
the grumpy uncle that comes to your house for Christmas.
He's adorable. You just kind of want to roll him down the street. The thing, though, with going to Dallas, as long as he doesn't take the creativity out of Sagan, Ben, Spets, guys like that, as long as he doesn't, and I think they've all had meetings, talks about it, the defensive side, not just with getting Bishop, but in general, should be better. But that would be my only worry is hopefully there's still that creativity. But when he was there and won his cup there a while ago, I mean, with what he did with Madonna was great because Madonna was still top-notch offensively, but he really taught him the defensive side. If he could do that properly with a guy like Tyler Sagan, I mean, wow. I mean, that would be a huge thing. But, yeah, Dallas will be back in it next year. It's so tough.
I mean, let's just run down the names. I mean, just say yes or no. Yes, meaning make the playoff next year based on what we know.
Okay.
Chicago. Well, definitely.
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to say it's still so early.
They're going to take a step back, though.
But they're still. I mean,
they'll make the playoffs.
Minnesota.
I was going to say we haven't even got to free agency.
I know.
It's early,
but still, I mean, based on what we project forward.
I took a first pass at this too.
Minnesota, I say yes. What do you guys?
I still say yes, making.
Anaheim.
Yes.
Edmonton, of course.
Yes.
St. Louis.
Yes.
San Jose.
Borderline with the Kings.
Calgary.
Yes.
No doubt. Nashville.
Yes.
L.A.
Borderline with the Sharks.
Dallas. Should be improved.
But not making it.
But improved. Vancouver. No.
But that's as of now.
We can't answer it. The offseason hasn't really even as much as there was.
You have to think that way because Pittsburgh did the same thing yesterday because they said, hey, you know what? We won our second cup in a row.
Yeah.
But what happened during the playoffs? Guys took runs at their stars.
Some knockarounds.
And
well, that's true.
They did not have an answer to that, and they do now. Ryan Reeves.
Well, they got him.
They got him.
Excellent.
They gave up too much,
we were
but they got him.
But they had to.
Now, what did they give up for Reeves?
Well, they basically their first-round pick, so 31st overall, and prospect Sundqvist for Reeves, and then a second-rounder. So basically to move up 20 spots,
but
St.
Pittsburgh
Louis did
has
that.
so much behind that. It's Scranton and what they've drafted. It wasn't an issue because you saw that feeder coming.
And who said that Crosby was getting pummeled every game?
Yeah,
he really was.
He was.
That's great.
He dishes it out too because we've had that conversation.
But I think it's good. I think that's a great move.
It's a smart move.
You got to.
Here's the thing with Reeves. You can look at it like this: we don't have enforcers in the league anymore. The speed game. He's not a terrible player in the sense where if you have him on your fourth line, it's fine because he is physical, not a great skater, but he's not horrible. So from that regard, I think it's fine. He's a good leader. Not really the guy you could put out there prolonged, but you can run him out real quick with the Crosby on a shift. But even if the guy sees, Reeves is at the back, okay, I'm not going to mess with you,
Well, how about putting
Sidney.
him and Hornquist in front of the net? Have fun knocking those two guys out.
It's a good move.
It is. It's a move that they could afford to make.
Yeah, and that's a smart.
Possibly the luxury of it. Yeah.
And whose spot? I think they're thinking that he's not going to replace him goal scoring wise because they have so much youth coming up. But Nick Bonino is probably gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and that's probably one of the best right wingers that's out there to pick up for for free agency.
Well, the cool because the cool thing with Bonino is even though when he is healthy, he's third line center with the Penguins. He could move up. There could be a team out there. Hey, we want you as our second line center.
Wing,
he can move around, and so he would be a nice addition. But no, I agree from that. Even though asset wise they gave up a lot, and St. Louis, of course, ended up picking, hosting their, someone that fell significantly. You would say, man, if Pittsburgh, having that opportunity to add another skilled prospect in there. But, yes, they've won the last 2 cups with Crosby getting banged around.
And they're the favorite right now for the third. In Vegas, they're the favorite.
No, and they should be right now. And then they'll have Letang back. I see it both ways. I mean, it is tough what they gave up, but you're right. I mean, Reeves is underrated in some regards. Now, he did have 7 goals last year, but I got to say this. For a fourth-line guy that people just think of, just an enforcer, well, he's not, because that's not terrible. And I remember those Blues teams a few years ago in the playoffs where that fourth line with Reeves and some of the other guys that were out there, they're outstanding fourth line. The energy that they provided. So, but yeah, we'll see how he's used there. And again, it's not like I think some fans that were upset. Oh no, he's going to slow the team down.
No.
Well, he's not going to play with Crosby per se. He'll be on the fourth line. But just his presence there on the bench, waving the guys, saying,
it is. I think
it's a run.
It was a necessary move. I mean, so
it's
looking
a
at the
consequence
draft,
move.
right?
Yeah. You do this, we do that.
So the draft has just been completed.
Yeah.
Knee-jerk reaction. Let's go around the table.
The expansion or the regular draft?
We'll talk about Vegas in the expansion draft sec. The entry draft. Quick, winners and losers.
Okay, well, I'll go with losers.
Team, persons, whatever.
Well, just looking at the beginning of it, I know obviously the whole thing is complete, but the Rangers, I was shocked that with Anderson they took him so quickly. That 7th pick they got from the Coyotes, I think it's a guy you could have got later on, traded back. Now, again, we're not down there on the draft floor in the sense where maybe they heard the team going right behind him would have taken. But in that regard, I thought they could have done a bit better with that. And the Red Wings, why Rasmussen? They had other options there. I think Rasmussen could be an NHL player one day, but to me, he tops out as a third-line center iceman. You have the number 9 pick.
So you got a couple of losers there.
Yeah, and you have, why not take Velarde, who the losers could be some of these teams that passed on.
But then he wouldn't be on L.A.
And I'm excited for that.
I got a winner,
and they're
though.
a big winner with that. And St. Louis.
I think Las Vegas.
Las Vegas
is
is the winner with Glass, Suzuki, and Branston.
They had 3 picks and they
home run type picks. Really.
And I'm also going to put Philly in there. Is that Nolan Patrick is the most complete player out of the draftees ready to play right now if he stays healthy. I think Philly is a team to watch out for next year. Along with, I'm going to shock you here, Carolina Hurricanes.
Ooh, that's shocking.
They have made some quiet moves and gotten better. They're younger. They've got speed. They've got depth.
And they're pushing really for Matt Duchene. If Duchene is moved, it could be them that ends up getting him. They have, Noah Hannafin. They can move the defenseman.
I think they're going to keep Hannafin because we're getting Trevor Van Riemsdyk right now in that trade. He's going to be playing with this kid Brent Pesce, who they played at UNH together. Hannafin's a BC kid. They've got a good solid core of D.
Yeah.
Carolina's going to be tough. But so winners we all agree Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas definitely.
My loser in the draft, the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay.
They have not drafted a
Pull-up.
defenseman for I think the last 5 years. I may be wrong with that. They always draft an best offensive player available, and they are rotten in their own end, and this is what you're paying for.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm with best player available, I'm good with that in the first round. Well, we're going to take a break actually now, but we'll get into that more later. But yeah, they have to handle the assets better, whether it's trading down, whatever it is. But this is Real Hockey Talk broadcasting from Mod Pizza here off of 75th Avenue in Bell. Come out and talk some hockey with us, grab some pizza, and we'll be right back.
NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You are listening to Real Hockey Talk / Breakthrough Sports live from Mod Pizza on 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down, have some fun. We're here till 3. And, of course, they're open pretty late tonight. Great pizza, great drinks, great everything. And great way to spend the Saturday afternoon. But a Saturday night, you got to go see, of course, the Rattlers and the Nebraska Danger for the conference finals. Joining us right now, Kevin Guy. Hey, Coach.
What's up, Dave? How you doing?
I'm great. Wow, the time has come. Boy, that season seems to have flown by. You're now in the conference finals against the Nebraska Danger. This is the third time you would have played them. You've won the first 2. So coming off an 8-game winning streak, you guys are peaking at the right time. Tell us about this game tonight.
Well, obviously, whoever wins is going to play for the championship. So, we're excited about it. I'm really happy for our players. I'm happy for our assistant coaches and support staff. Everybody's worked hard and put a lot of hours in to put us in this position to try to be able to compete for a championship. And, Nebraska is a much improved football team. And, they made a change at quarterback with Drew Powell, and he's made them a different team. So, it's going to be a great game tonight. It should be a great atmosphere. I heard tickets are really, really going well on the sales, and so it should be a great environment and a great place to spend the Saturday night with your family.
There's no doubt about it, and of course, at 6:00 p.m. start at Talking Stick Arena, you definitely support your Arizona Rattlers, and this is the position you wanted to be in starting the season, and going into a new league, pretty much a whole brand new team other than about 5 players. Coach, you have done a remarkable job to put yourself in a position to now go for the championship after a win tonight. So, can you express in words what this means to you, or do you want to wait and see what happens after the game?
Well, I'm happy for the organization. I'm happy for the people that work in the organization. I'm not one that relishes a lot in what, we've accomplished. I'm one of them guys that wakes up and I'm on to the next game. But, at the end of the day, this is our 7th year in a row. The 7th year in a row the Arizona Rattlers has played in the conference championship game with the opportunity to go, to the championship game. And if we win tonight, we would have won 6 out of those 7 trips. So that's pretty remarkable. It says that we got a lot of good people in our organization and, great ownership. Ron Schertz, outstanding. He was a difference maker when he bought this team, and just can't be more happy for everybody involved. So, but we still got to finish. We got to finish. Yeah. That's where our mindset is, and we're getting ready to play this game tonight. And I think our guys had a good week of preparing for the game, and I'm looking forward to see how they're going to get out and perform tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be exciting. I know your defense has played a major factor in the 8-game winning streak. They've only given up more than 35 points once during that time, and 19 sacks. So it looks like the defense is really going to be, do you think, a key to this game tonight?
Oh, most definitely. That one game that we did give up over 35, it was, the offense had a fumble that they ran back for a touchdown. So, defensively, we're still right there in what we're doing. But, I definitely think our defense is going to play a big part in the game tonight. We got to make sure that we account for that quarterback. He scored 5 rushing touchdowns last week, and he threw another 2 or 3 touchdowns. So this guy makes plays, and we got to make sure that we got him accounted for.
Yeah, that's going to be really critical. Of course, your running game been good all year. Darryl Monroe still leads the league in yards per game with 55.5, gone for 18 touchdowns on the ground. Anthony Amos, another offensive star for you. So, obviously you got to have both sides of the ball clicking, and, of course, special teams too. So, do you see this game as a real tight game, a defensive game? How do you see this playing out?
Well, I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. I told the players, our goal is to make them submit to us. We want to break them at some point. I don't care if it's first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. At some point, we got to be able to physically take impose our will on them. And so we want to make it a physical football game and get after them for 60 minutes. And, both times we've played them, I mean, it's been a 4-quarter game. I mean, they're a good football team. And we got some breaks in both those games. And we got to make sure that we're dialed in and ready to play. I mean, they're a good football team, but, at the end of the day, someone said to me earlier in the week, it's hard to beat somebody 3 times. Well, you can if you're better than they are, okay? And, to me, that's average mindset to buy into any of that stuff. It comes down to who's going to be the best team on that day, and you got to, we prepared for it. We worked for it all week. We'll be ready to play today. Yeah,
it's going to be really exciting. And, of course, you spoil the fans. You guys are good every year, and the fans almost expect it. And coming into the new league, no one really knew, but it does prove what a great organization you are involved with and what a great GM and coach you are. And I've had to tell the whole everyone gets a lot of credit for being in this position right now. As a coach, just another question or two, but as a coach, I know you're highly focused on tonight's game, but how much of your focus is, or if any, is on the Storm versus the Barnstormers? Of course, the Storm beat the Barnstormers last week, 45-24. Pretty good beating there. Now they play at home against Iowa tonight for the United Conference Championship. Are you sort of peeking over anyone's shoulder to see how that's going to turn out?
We'll play whoever wins, Dave. I mean, at the end of the day, both teams, Iowa and Sioux Falls, have had great seasons. Sioux Falls is the 6th-time defending champion. So, so that would be a great storyline, us playing the 6th-time defending champion. The other great storyline would be if we, is playing the Iowa Barnstormers. 20 years ago, this year, the Arizona Rattlers against the for the Arena Football League Championship. So that's another great story if that was to come to fruition. So, you got great storylines out there, and obviously Arizona Rattlers will always be considered the best organization from the Arena Football League, and so I think those are great storylines. But we got to handle our business tonight, and right now we're focused on Nebraska. We'll see what happens if all this comes to fruition.
No doubt about it, and I think if you took a poll, which you didn't, but if you did, I think the fans would probably like to have Sioux Falls back in, with you guys and get a little bit of revenge for the first game of the season and really show the league that, boy, the Rattlers are here to stay. There's no doubt about it. Well, Coach, it's always an honor, pleasure having you on the show. Everyone should get out there. 6 p.m. The game will be played at Talking Stick Resort Arena. Get out there. And there may be limited tickets, so you better get your tickets now, azrattlers.com, or go down there and swoop them up. So I'll see you tonight, Coach. I'll definitely be there. Good luck. Really excited for this game tonight.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Head coach, general manager Kevin Guy, truly maybe one of the biggest games of his career. He's had a lot of big games. However, when you just move from a AFL to the IFL, bring back only 5 players, that's an accomplishment, I think.
Absolutely.
To be 12-4, taking first place home field advantage against the Nebraska Danger tonight. So definitely get out there. They're going to have a full house, I think. They're going to rock and roll. I wouldn't be surprised if they get 14,000, 15,000 strong. Music's
going to be rocking in the building.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Very exciting, by the way, this brand of football. I do like it better than the AFL, where it's mainly pass. This is a mixture of everything, and they have quite a running attack. Number one rusher in the league, and that's always exciting to watch, I think. So there's our intermission from hockey, right? And there's so much hockey left. It's craziness what happened this week. I should say we actually, Greg and I were at T-Mobile Arena. What a beautiful arena. Rick, you've been there, right?
No, I have not been there.
You haven't been there yet.
Not
and
yet. No.
It's in between the Monte Carlo and New York, New York. We stayed at the Monte Carlo. you walk out, you're like within 3-4 minutes of
right.
it.
So I'll be up there in August for the concert, and hopefully we'll be
do a remote
right from there.
I mean, it is really cool place, and they have a nice fan base. They were really excited. Them announcing Fleury, the fans went wild when they announced him. He was there.
And the next
in
day,
a uniform,
he was out in the community
or jersey.
doing ball hockey with kids.
Yeah.
Really nice.
I thought it was a really great experience. Nice deal. Had a full house there. Of course, Crosby and Gretzky and a lot of the, Burns, they were all there. Really exciting, actually.
Oh, the Vegas fans are pumped for this.
Oh,
everyone there is ready to roll.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time.
And to get a face like that, with Fleury and, it's going to be great hockey and hopefully great rivalry. Well, it is. The fans already, even though there's a lot of King fans out there from Frozen Fury and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever anything Kings, boo.
Yeah, big boo.
Anything Ducks, anything Sharks, and so, and with Coyotes should be the same. So it'll be fun, the rivalry that's.
Although when they mentioned the Coyotes, no reaction much. It was sort of like, blah. So, it wasn't anything strong.
That was you making that sound.
I think they just felt sorry for the Coyotes, right? Because now you got two teams in the desert.
And Vegas opens up, Arizona, and they both open against each other. Home openers
October
against
10th.
each team.
And what's the meaning October 10th? There's two meanings here. One,
Shane Doan's birthday.
No, and my birthday.
He's going to be 51?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, Dave's 83 or something.
Oh, me? No, it's my birthday and Shane Doan's birthday.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I was not told
That's
to leave, but Shane Doan was. Now, I should go, right?
No, you can stick around a little while.
No, shouldn't I go to,
go
to the game?
Go to the game in
Wouldn't
Vegas.
that be fun? I mean, open. Oh, it's sold out already. But
I'm sure we have a connection.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
But I think that's such an exciting thing. Vegas, they paid. How much did they pay for it? I think it was $600 million. And I just think this is going to be an amazing franchise from a economic standpoint. And I'm sure they'll grow into a very competitive team. I think this is a great move by the NHL.
I
really do.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean, can
they
you imagine?
market it really well, though.
I mean,
they
Buffalo. I was at the. Oh, their marketing was fantastic.
If anyone, I don't know, Rick, if you've seen the show How I Met Your Mother.
A couple of times.
They have the bro code and stuff like that, and at the end of the episodes, it will have like a new code, like bro code, like number 352, blah blah blah. And they had that there, but it was like Golden Knight code, and it's just great the way they had it. And you could tell everyone, all the media, everyone just sort of laughing. This is awesome.
I wasn't crazy over the uniform unveiling.
Really?
It's had a little mixed emotions.
I like the night hat.
It was okay. It's the colors. I saw a little bit of that Vancouver Canuck destruction uniform that they had, that orange and yellow, but it'll fly. It'll fly. They're going to sell a lot of jerseys. I know they opened up this week. The store opened up there.
It was packed. I wanted to go in, but it would have been a 2-hour wait to get in. Yeah.
You guys didn't bring me back anything.
No, we got to bring Rick something.
Well, that's I'll make a couple of checks right there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. We're out.
But it is just such a great place because after, you love to see like Buffalo. I was at the draft last year. Buffalo's connected to, I think, the Marriott, and they have this huge, incredible bar. So it's all connected, and this is going to be such a destination place where you walk outside, go to New York, go other hotels.
Oh, it's going to be great.
I just think people are going to love this form of entertainment.
Oh, they've been wanting a team.
Smart. Yeah. Good move. And the Raiders, of course.
That's next, right?
That's next.
I want to know when the referees get to town, what room are they locking them up in?
I'm sure, That's going to be.
They blindfold them, and you're coming here.
Yes.
Now you're at the rink.
No, it's going to be great. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to that first game, Coyotes in Vegas. And hopefully it's not a scoreless tie.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier, I know before Coach called in and everything, we were talking about Buffalo a little bit. And sort of a loser of their. Now, a place right near Buffalo who I thought also did well, at least for the first round, Toronto with getting the defenseman Lidgren, because here's a guy coming into last year was thought to be the number one defenseman, maybe number one overall, but he got mono and was never the same, and that could be understandable. And so that's a guy that value-wise we could look back in a few years and go, man, Toronto at 17 got a guy that arguably without his illness, could have been a top 5 pick possibly.
Toronto definitely next year because they get guys they control. It's gonna be really fun watching the Maple Leafs. And as I said, Canada will erupt if they can win a cup. But they're on a collision salary cap course.
Yeah.
That and they actually have more powerful rookies than Edmonton does. With Marner
overall,
and Nylander and
they got quite a
Hyman,
few.
Brown. I mean, they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, there's a team. If you didn't have a salary cap, Toronto would spend like the New York Yankees.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They could do everything.
That's where that parity comes in, because even though McDavid's not going to get $14 million, there was those whispers that that's what his agent will ask for originally. Then McDavid will get about, $11 million a year probably.
He'll get whatever he asks for.
Well, exactly, yeah. But then, Draisaitl obviously will get. And so that's where that parity comes in, because you get to that point, unless the cap could start going up significantly at some point, these teams will have to let some depth guys go. On the other hand, when you got that star-level talent, as long as you are smart, you can still bring some guys in that could work around them.
This is why a few shows ago I talked about Chicago kicking around the idea of trading Patrick Kane, and specifically to Buffalo, and getting Ruotsalainen back, even though that would hurt Buffalo more. Buffalo needs to put people in the seats.
Yeah,
they need to do that, and Stan Bowman needs salary cap relief.
Right. He still does, yeah. Well, and I see why the Panarin move, in the sense where they know in 2 years.
You're going to have to pay him.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Saad, I believe, is $6 million a year, another 4 years or something, but you know how much he is making. Better defensively than Panarin. But, yeah, on the other hand, losing someone with that skill set, and that's an advantage that they did have. I'm curious to see what Chicago does the rest of the offseason. We know they'll be busy. One of the other winners I had, we talked about Vegas, Toronto.
Did we say Philly was a winner?
Yeah, Rick did.
Most ready NHL guy.
Nolan Patrick.
He could make it next year.
He should.
Sure.
He probably can, and then long term he should be real good. But I want to go back to the Kings, because I do have them as winner, really, with the Velarde, how he fell to them. A lot of people even at points had him in the third spot, but top 5, I was shocked, happy. But want to mention, though, Mark Yannetti, King's head scout, one of the head scouts, been with the organization for a long time. A question he was asked about the Kings' second-round pick, of course, Jared Anderson-Dolan. Tremendous pick, one of the fastest guys in the draft, a good, solid guy. He raised by 2 moms, and especially with everything that's kind of going on now, he was asked, Yannetti, about, with Anderson-Dolan being raised by 2 moms, and his response, if anyone has a problem, they should screw themselves and find another job.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good for Yannetti. And,
good. And I agree.
Because it's meaningless.
It is.
It really is.
Well,
There's no bearing.
Yeah. And
it's how you're raised.
Oh, yeah, and absolutely.
Totally
so
agree.
Good for Yannetti saying that, but, L.A. there. And then St. Louis, I did like what they did with the value, especially getting Costin at number 31 after that trade.
And getting rid of Laterra's salary.
Yeah, Braden Chen is a good
20-goal scorer, yeah.
That was interesting.
And he only makes $400,000 or something more than Laterra did. Yeah, you give up some first-round picks, but they can win now in St. Louis, and they needed that other piece, and
I like
more
that.
Scoring. And Chen's feisty, too. He'll fight if he has to.
He does.
Yeah.
But let's talk the Kings pick, Gabe Vilardi.
Yeah.
What I've heard is they compare him a bit to John Tavares.
Yeah, now with the size, though,
pretty interesting.
A fellow Southern California player, Ryan Getzlaff,
who was like an 18th pick, I think, in that draft. He wasn't even a top 10 pick.
Something like that. Yeah, the Ducks made out like bandits in 03. It was him and Perry in that draft.
That's a good one.
But, yeah, they said maybe because of the skating he fell. The Kings said, hey, he's working with a power skating coach all summer.
Barry Carnes in Minnesota.
Yeah, and he's not a bad skater. It's an awkward skating motion.
Like, what's his name? Bernie Nichols.
That, or now.
Remember Bernie?
I do. He had a very good career.
He did.
Yeah.
And 12 years ago, there was another big young center iceman
Kopitar.
that fell to 11.
Yeah.
Now, there was some talk that was a little to do with he was the first guy from Slovenia, and sometimes, for whatever reason, non-traditional market, maybe some scouts of other teams. You also have the thing where, even though Velarde, in general, may have been top 3-5 on most lists, some of the teams in front may have said, oh, but we just have one guy we really like and want. Because, especially the Red Wings situation, I was just shocked. Vancouver gets Peterson, who may be the most skilled player in the draft, but he has a lot of questions at 5. But, see, I thought, man, Velarde would go well there. Just
a lot of them
it happens.
5 out of the 10 scouts interviewed said he should be in the top 5.
Is Velarde?
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's a good deal
he
there.
won a couple Memorial Cups. I mean, he's got size.
Yeah. But how about, did you think Florida's 10 pick was good, Owen Tippett?
Oh, Tippett, great goal-scoring ability, but I think he has high bust potential, though.
Yeah.
Interesting. Through unnamed sources said this draft, with watching it, after the first 5 picks, everybody was overhyped.
Yeah.
So, buy everywhere. I mean, everyone said, "Oh, this is great. He can skate. He can do that." Let's fast forward 5 years, see how many of them are still playing, right?
Yeah.
Because some of these first-round picks are going to be on a 4th line in 5 years.
Oh, yeah, and then you'll see later guys just develop.
Right.
And that's the thing. You never really have winner and loser of draft until 3-5 years at least down the line.
McDavid.
But it's still – but even with that, the whole draft – you look at that because you're not drafting the player for next year. You're drafting for the future, even if it is an NHL-ready guy. So
now, this isn't a benchmark, but this is, to me, all right, Velarde, 6'3", 200 pounds, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Played 62 games last year, 14 penalty minutes, and only 12 minutes this year. How do you only have 12 minutes when you're 6'3", 200?
It'll be interesting on his style. I mean,
he's a puck possession center. Let's see. Hopefully he's not the type of center that, goes into the corner to dig the puck out with a dozen eggs and doesn't break any of them.
That's a good thing.
We'll see how that turns out. No.
The big winner here, we talked about winners and losers.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to mention 2.
Yeah.
Finland.
Oh, yeah.
They had 6 first-round draft picks, 5 in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendously on the D-men side of things, So if you look at that program and where they've gone. And secondly, NCAA hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
60 of the draft choices in rounds 1 through 7, NCAA college bound. 60 players.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay?
Whoa.
I'll go 6 in the first round, 5 in the second, 11 in the third, 6 in the fourth, 8 in the fifth. It's obviously going to go up higher, then 10 and 14. And I've been beating this dead horse all along. Arizona only had 2 kids going NCAA. Then something's missing there.
College education.
They're not spending resources.
Well, and
you're probably right.
Maybe it's been tough with resources, everything that's gone on. But still, and I know it was from the United States Hockey League, as you said last year, with a guy like Keller, then ended up going to college.
Yeah,
but
BU.
I think it will keep improving. And plus, some of these other guys they've drafted, maybe they go, but we really feel this is the best guy available at this point, etc. And overall, I mean, they took a lot of defensemen, obviously, and last year, again, after Keller, really a lot of defensemen for the most part. So they're really building that part of it with assets up. And they had an interesting draft because I think in the middle rounds they got some guys that value. You go, wow, that guy I would have thought would have won a lot sooner. Then the first round pick, the 23rd, the defenseman there, definitely no doubt has potential one day. That maybe they reached a bit. Maybe they could have got him in the second round, something like that. But again, you never know what goes on behind the scenes.
What about
you could try to trade down. Yeah. Things could happen. So you get the player you want.
What about the 22nd pick? The guy that's 5 feet 7.5 inches, 146 pounds.
Who?
Yamamoto.
Oh, yeah.
He's Edmonton. He's a little guy.
He is a little.
Doesn't matter
Well,
anymore.
then Morgan Frost.
But they compare him to Johnny Hockey.
Oh, you got to have that powerful abs
can't be too bad,
legs.
right?
Yeah,
that's not bad. But anyway, that was exciting to see the little guy get in.
So L.A. had a good draft with Velarde?
I think so,
I
yeah.
think so.
Let's see what they do now because they haven't gotten fast enough.
Oh, we got 10 seconds. This is Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell. Come on down. We are Real Hockey Talk. We'll be here till 3.
Tune in Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. as FanRack Sports Radio breaks down your pro and college teams with Chris Schubert right here on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060.
And welcome back again to Real Hockey Talk. We're live from Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road, 7480 West Bell Road, Suite 110, Glendale, Arizona. And I'm Dave alongside Greg and the hockey guru Rick from Boston, who lives now in Phoenix, Arizona. Rick, did you ever think you'd be called the hockey guru when you were in Boston?
I was called many things, not that.
But something
particular.
we cannot repeat on the air.
But I had my close inner circle that made references to the same.
Oh, excellent,
so,
right?
So
absolutely.
Yes.
And Coyote fans or NHL fans in general, call in if you want to talk about this busy week and weekend, 602-260-1060, 602-260-1060, or ask us a question on Twitter at @real_hockey talk, and we'll be happy to answer or say your comments on the air. And, the Coyotes at 23, of course, we talked a little bit about Pierre-Olivier Joseph, so the defenseman, getting him, I thought it was a little bit of a reach in the sense they maybe could have got him in the second round, but, again, another pretty highly touted defenseman for the system. So I think Chaika's doing a nice job with these assets, per se.
I was hoping that they took Ottinger, the goalie from BU, at that spot.
I mean, and even in Dallas ended up trading up. The thing is, I hate taking goaltenders in the first round.
No, I know, but they clearly, I mean, they're going to need that in the future. I mean,
in later rounds, the development will be huge. But he is. Ottinger is going to be.
He's a big, athletic kid. He's kind of like a Gibson. He's not necessarily that athletic. He takes up a lot of space.
Oh yeah,
and he's that type of. But he's a tier 1 goalie. I thought they would have made a move for him.
Well, the good thing is with all the assets they have now, at some point they can move. Some of them to get maybe a young goaltender from another organization that they could start developing, things like that. And so it is, despite still some uncertainty off the ice. I mean, this year in Glendale, but after, hopefully everything gets worked out somewhere out here. But the on-ice product and other things sort of going on with the organization, it does seem like there is that excitement back, knowing that, you're trying to be competitive, and there are those assets there. So I'm looking forward to see what the Coyotes do the next couple weeks.
I've heard some kicking around of the NBA getting involved here.
Oh, yeah, Adam Silver.
With Sarver and saying, hey, we already got a building in downtown, but it's not hockey friendly. But you've got the oldest building in the NBA.
Yeah.
Let's pool our money, National Hockey League and NBA, do some interest-free loans, help out, rebuild that building, U.S. Airway, whatever the name, Talking Stick Resort. Rebuild it. Add seats, add luxury, what's needed, make it hockey friendly. Have the Suns play in Glendale for a couple of years while they do that. And then you got a building, you don't need permits, you don't need land.
Well, Barraway wants to go downtown, by the way.
Work a deal with the NBA.
I think that's smart, by the way.
But will Glendale allow the Suns to lease from them for a couple of years?
I think financially, if it's good, they probably would, because if the handwriting's on the wall.
Well, if this was to happen, Glendale has all the leverage.
I would. They still want the Coyotes, of course, but obviously.
Do they?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be an empty building.
They have to.
I mean, they really have to economically, and
right.
It's such a beautiful arena too. It's a shame, but hey, it's not working. Is it? But here's the question for the fans out there and our circle here. Is it not working because it's Glendale, or is it because if they had a highly competitive team, a really star name and really up there each year, would they draw more? I think they would.
A winner always draws more.
So is it that, or is it the Glendale?
A little of both. I think a little of location, because Phoenix, even though technically it's a big city per se, there still has a mindset at times of a little one. See, we're used to, with L.A. or Chicago, we'll drive an hour to get to the game, et cetera.
And I did.
Well, yeah, it's just you're born like that. The thing is out here, I don't think there's that mentality quite yet in some of the sense with the East driving all the way down to the West. I do think, though, it could work still there if, like you said, Rick, the competitive team, things like that. And, on fans that even are upset, disagree, everything that's gone on with maybe the city of Glendale and stuff. And, it's been a fiasco in some ways, whether who's right or wrong, whatever. But, they'll get over that. They just want to see their team, obviously. But, ideally, if you could get it downtown, because it's ideal location
better for the everyone.
Atmosphere.
Right.
It is.
I agree.
Yeah. A lot of fun over there.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves on this one. Yeah, we hope, we wish, we don't want them to leave, and I don't think they're going to leave because the league needs them here.
Oh, yeah, and think of the rivalry
they need them here.
They need them here because it's the sixth largest city.
That's right. Arguably fifth.
Yeah, didn't it just move up?
I think it's fifth now.
Well, it could be. Philly was. They're battling Philly.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yep.
Yeah, two people moved out of Philly. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a close one.
Hey, it was our cousin, Dave Isaac's birthday the other day. Did you wish him a happy birthday?
I forgot, but
But he was, what is he, or cousin? Or?
I have something like that.
He has my name, though.
Yeah.
I came first.
So there's one good Dave, and he lives in the Jersey, Philly area.
He's in Chicago now.
Yeah, he's
a
does
great
a great
hockey
job
guy. For a young kid,
Flyers.
he's like 29.
Probably. Yeah, great job.
Really hockey.
Yeah.
Just very knowledgeable. And
I'll
have to get him to call in again to talk about the Flyers. I bet he's excited.
Probably.
Yeah. More than likely. Now, but I still say they're going to move, so we'll have a debate on that as well. I know.
They can't.
But if you are right, we'll be nice to you.
Yeah, you never know. I was right about Pittsburgh winning the Cup. That was my claim to fame, right?
Very true.
True. That's good. So why don't we start running down the expansion draft selection, starting with number 1 from Colorado, Calvin Pickard.
It's only Pickard. Number 1 because they did it by position of who came in the bottom.
What's funny?
That's right.
You want to hear something?
It wasn't their first pick.
You're right.
Well, what's funny is while we were there, we knew that they'll announce picks after every couple awards and stuff, but then they told everyone in the house, they go, the expansion draft will be after. And we're like, wait, no, it's not. What are they talking about? And then it changed, the first 3 picks, but then it went to the first 9 or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
It was sort of interesting, but it worked out well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, everyone was fun.
It was exciting. And now here's a question. Ranta is the Coyotes guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe he was unprotected.
Well,
so my question
they
is,
had to,
I'm just going to ask it, just curious. Why would Vegas not want him?
Well, no, they would have, but they went with Fleury.
They were going to take both.
And with the Rangers, was it Lindbergh? That's a good young forward that they brought in there, and so. Ranta only has 1 year left. Now, granted, you could take a guy, flip him, stuff like that.
Sure.
But
just curious.
Right. No, and that's a good question. But man, Vegas had some good pickings there. From
he did. Well,
Rangers.
Calvin, is selected by Colorado in the second round, 49th overall, which is pretty high.
He had a lot
of
games last year too for a bad team.
Yeah, he had 28 wins and 74 starts.
So who's the number 1 guy for Colorado? Varlamov? Is he still there?
Sylvie Varlamov, yeah. What's interesting with it is with Pickard, and I didn't see a lot of Avs games last year, but there were some Colorado people we had met up there, talked to, who said they were just so they did not want to lose it, and they knew it was coming, but they.
Interesting.
Varlamov is a good goaltender, but makes a lot and has battled injury and other things have gone on with him. So, we'll see. But, Colorado should have found a way to keep Pickard in there. Just another
I would think
Joe Sakic asleep at the wheel.
Oh, man. Well, and we love you, Joe, one of my favorite players.
But 2.77 goals against, 91 for
on a bad team.
The save percentage.
The stats. Yeah.
But that's pretty decent for a bad team.
Yeah, well, that's
so,
true.
Maybe they've gotten someone pretty. Let's go to number 2, the second pick, but you're right, is in reverse order by the worst team.
Let's see by the team.
Luca Spizza.
Defenseman from
Vancouver.
Yeah.
So he's from Switzerland. Yeah. Italy must have a little bit of both there. Pretty good size, 6'2", 209, 27. These are pretty young kids. He was a flyer pick and 19th overall in 2008.
The thing with Suspa is, he's was a big part of was a Pronger move a while ago and other ones. He always had that potential. Now, when he's with the Ducks, he's fine. He still has his roots actually in Southern California. So if Vegas doesn't flip him, he'll be happy. I'm sure they're in Vegas, not far, kind of from where he lives in the off season now.
I think guys
he's
are going to
fine.
be flipped before him.
Yeah, there's other guys. Yeah, we'll talk more about that in a bit, but off there we're mentioning some of that.
Now, he scored his first NHL goal on December 28, 2010. The reason I mention this, who was it against? Of course, it was
the Coyotes.
Yes, okay. So Lucas Pisa. So third pick from New Jersey Devils, another defenseman, John Merrill. From USA.
Just really nothing. He probably won't even make the team.
6'3", 205.
Well, the interesting thing with Merrill, again, he was another guy that
38
had
overall.
A lot of value at some point, in terms of young defensemen. But, it's well, they got depth at least.
Oh, they do, but they're gonna be moving guys.
Yeah.
Well,
but
there's no
it's
doubt.
Understandable.
So, now Timo from the Coyotes.
I'm waiting for how come no one's calling in upset that they
How do you
lost
say that?
Timo
Pulkkinen? Yeah, how'd they get them?
Remember, he was on they picked him up off waivers. Now, at least he's
not a bad player, by the way.
He was highly touted through the Red Wing organization.
Mm-hmm.
It just he never got. But then he struggled with
Fourth
Minnesota.
rounder.
Yeah, I mean, and don't worry about his draft position because he was developed correctly originally with the Rangers, or with the Red Wings. But it happens. But who knows? He has some skill. Maybe if he makes Vegas's opening night
make
roster.
the team.
Yeah, you do indeed. So let's see. So no more comments about. Yeah, there wasn't much. Well, not much there. It didn't matter who they were taking there. I think. Okay.
I mean, they could have gone maybe with Jamie McGinn, who, again, had a rough first year with the Coyotes last year, but he did battle injury. And with what McGinn potentially should be able to bring, the contract's all right. It's just will he get back to that? So Vegas may say, you could just go with the guy that doesn't make a lot of money right now.
They didn't want him.
Mm-hmm. And let's see, where are we? The fourth pick, I think?
Yeah, I think you are.
I think I am. William Carrier from the post office.
Yes.
No, William Carrier. Forward Buffalo Sabres, young guy still, 20, actually really young.
Big, strong guy.
22, 6'2", 212. So, any comments on that?
He has some offensive ability, I mean, in the minors. So, power forward. But again, a guy that, in the sense, has some potential, if he makes the roster, put the puck in the net a little bit, and the size is nice, but, not a guy that will ever be really a top six guy. Doesn't have enough for that.
No. Okay, number 5, Detroit Red Wings forward, Thomas Nosek. Nosek.
He's got promise.
6'3", Czech Republic.
He's got promise.
Big boy, 24. Mm-hmm. Hey, it was undrafted. That's sort of interesting. And so 40 did pretty good in NHL, I guess. 41 points in 51 games. I guess Calder Cup winner.
Yep.
So you never know, right?
They were actually pretty high on him.
So that could be really good. All right, the next one, number 6, I believe, from Dallas, Cody
Eakins.
Yeah, he had a tough year last year, but I like that pick because 2 years ago, his first year in Dallas, was really good. And I think he is the type of player. I mean, maybe a third-line type center normally, but he has playmaking ability, so he could be in the top 6. And with Vegas as of now, he would be on their first or second line. But with that extra ice time, I'm excited to see what he'll do.
Mm-hmm. That could be, it could be pretty good, no doubt about it. 154 points and 379 career NHL games, so not bad, right? Yeah. That's actually not bad.
Yeah, he's a fine player.
Number 7, Florida. Oh, how are you going to pronounce this
Jordan
last
Marchessault.
name? Say that again?
Jordan Marchessault.
How did you learn that?
Well, because I hear it on TV.
Marchessault.
He's a good player.
Hockey, yeah.
Good player. Very good
30
player.
goals. Oh,
There's your first-line centerman right there.
Man,
well, the thing with him, Tampa originally was with the Lightning. They, just had a lot of depth there, obviously. So then with Florida last year with the 30-goal year, coming out of nowhere, it does have that skill. Maybe he doesn't score 30 again, but he should be a guy that could be that 20-goal guy consistently, and definitely nice to have that available.
See if they pair him with Riley Smith.
Yeah.
Makes
Riley,
it interesting.
Yeah, he
got him in the trade
2 years ago. He had
before.
25 goals. He had 15 goals last year. So that guy, I think that's a decent.
Who, Riley Smith?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think decent
brother
there.
of Brendan. He's got some off-ice issues. He had issues in Boston. Him and Dougie Hamilton were very close.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And there was they didn't necessarily fit in with some of the other guys on the team, and consequently they were dealt. But he's got talent. Doesn't have a lot of size.
Yeah.
But he's got talent.
They're going to be, well, they announced George McPhee during the awards program and ceremony said they had 2 goals. One was an entertaining and competitive team, and of course then to make the playoff, eventually make the playoffs. So entertaining he may have, and I think they got some at least 2 tough guys that might make it a little bit entertaining for old style hockey. So we have then the next one from the Kings. Oh, Greg is so sad on this.
We'll leave it all.
Yeah,
all
Braden
up to Greg
McNabb.
With McNabb, when he got traded to LA a few years ago at the deadline, they thought the best defenseman not in the NHL at that time is what the Kings scouts thought. And the reason is he does have a lot of tools. Does he have the toolbox? Now, he played very well, not this past year, but the year before. Then struggled a bit last year. It could have been a Darryl Sutter type of thing. I like it for Vegas because he's physical, and he does have some offensive ability. He has a pretty hard shot, and if he's put in the right setting, gets the right amount of minutes, I think he's fine.
Keep him. I don't think they move him.
No, I don't think so either. He's a good value guy. Now, he is a guy maybe throughout the year closer to the deadline you can move in the sense because he only has 1 year left. But I think maybe there's hope with him that, hey, comes in, has fun, comfortable, maybe a guy, long run, sign long term, keep around.
And a big boy, too, 6'4".
Oh, yeah, and he can clear the front of the net well. And he skates well for a big guy.
Kings, they're going to miss him?
Well, ideally it would be nice to get an asset for him, but because, protection limits and stuff. But they have some depth there, which is why it was okay at that point. But, yeah, I mean, a big guy that can clear the front of the net, I mean, they're still important. So
no doubt, yeah. All right, the next one, I think we're in 7th, I believe. Carolina Hurricanes forward.
Connor Brickley?
Yeah, how do you know that without looking?
I'm looking.
Oh, but that's so impressive, though.
He's related to Andy Brickley, the play-by-play announcer of the
Bruins. Or Dan Brickley, the
Arizona
Republic. No, I'm kidding. I don't know about Dan Brickley.
He's the type of guy. He probably won't make the team. Played University of Vermont. He's a third, fourth line guy. He's going to be a reach to make the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not much on him at all. But he was really 26 points with HL
Charlotte
Checkers. But maybe that was the best they could do. All right, here's one that's everyone knows, of course, from the Winnipeg Jets forward, Chris Thornburn.
Chris Thornburn.
Tough guy, right? 6'3", 235.
Some toughness
that
and
Brett
leadership.
Burns beard on him there. He's
30. What is he? 34 years old.
I believe so. Yeah, he's been around a while. I mean, He'll provide leadership and fourth line, some
you
grit
got to
and
have
toughness.
that,
Yeah.
And
That's
a little
what he is.
maybe a little entertainment, and that's what they're looking for, but partly. So there you go. But, yeah, not a lot of pointages, 127 and 750 games. But he's not expected to. I mean, that's the whole thing. So, okay, here's from the Flyers, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Wow, you're good at that.
Well,
from France. Parlez-vous français?
Not a bad player.
Right, leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah, 32.
He got an A with the Flyers there last year. So
he's not going to light up the lamp a lot.
No.
But he's not injury prone. He's played almost 3 full seasons.
And he's and as far as French-born players in NHL, how many were there before him? As a trivia question.
None.
No, that is not the correct answer.
I'm not sure.
But good guess. And Rick, the hockey guru.
I'll punt.
Okay, it's
players from France.
Yeah, or French-born actually.
That's the same thing.
Sort of. Well, not really. You could have someone play.
I know.
But French-born. It's similar. All right, you give up? It's more than 1 and 1 under 10. 9. Okay. So he's a 9th. I didn't even know that. Who else is French except the guy in San Antonio, the basketball player? All right. From the Tampa Bay Lightning number, I don't know what we're on. Maybe 9, maybe
13.
Oh, we are? Okay, Jason Garrison.
Tough player.
So there you go, 32.
He can hit.
Is he going to be with them?
Yes.
You can add some offense to the back end.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, so not much left on them. Then they got another goaltender.
Back up for the
Islanders. Jean-Francois Berube.
Yes.
Hey, I'm getting good at this. I'm only doing this to pronounce the names, or at least practice.
It's interesting with Berube because he's an LA pick, and he helped the AHL team in Manchester, win the title there. Yeah, and then of course the Manchester became the ECHL team, while Ontario became the AHL. But LA was 2 years ago had to put him on waivers, because the waiver rules, training camp. They weren't going to carry 3 goaltenders,
right? And
the Islanders took him, and the Islanders carried 3 goaltenders for quite a while, so they did think something of him. But if he's still there, more of a backup type situation, but probably the third best out of the guys they got.
Right? Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so
and are they going to keep 3 goalies? Probably not.
I doubt it. Yeah.
And to send him down to the minors, he'd have to clear waivers, which he might at this point in time. Who knows?
Could, yeah, definitely could. So at least a little depth, perhaps. And now the next one.
He's their first-line left winger.
Yeah, maybe one of their best picks, of course, James Neal, Predators. Only 29 still, 6'2", but good career so far. He's always had, been an offensive scorer.
Take some dumb penalties.
Yeah.
So,
and if Eakin or Sharpapanov or whatever could get him the puck next year. Yeah, Shepard.
Oh, yeah. Is that the guy from Russia?
Yeah, yeah. And,
why don't you talk about that guy? What do you know about him?
Well, because he's, 30, he could step right. Obviously, he'll step right in, but a lot of teams were interested in him at some point. I mean, so they think his game could translate and
when I
be
saw
a top
the
6
unprotected
guy.
list, Shepard was the center for Radulov in the KHL, and Montreal did not protect Radulov.
Right.
And it's not like they had an agreement in place. I was kind of thinking maybe they take him and they reunite him.
Right.
Well, Montreal was always rumored to sign Shepard. And but partly for that reason, Bergeron didn't work out. GM Bergeron did, but then, of course, Vegas coming in last month and getting into that 2-year deal. Now, with Radulov, I don't even know if he'll re-sign with Montreal now because he wants a lot of money, and it'll be interesting if he does hit the open market here July.
Maybe
1st.
Vegas.
Nah.
No?
They're not going to overpay. They're going to be above the floor.
Yeah.
He wants to play.
They're not going to solve other people's problems.
Unless he wants to play with his buddy there, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you never know. So, anyway, that's definitely a really good pickup for Vegas, no question about it. Now, let's see. We'll do one more before the break. Calgary Flames defenseman.
Derek Englund.
Mm-hmm. Tough guy, right?
Very tough.
35,
what L.A. King destroyed him in a fight.
Mr.
Iginla.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. But he'll, again, some maturity, help the leadership.
Well, look at how this team was built. It's a tough team.
He lives in Vegas.
It's a tough team. Yeah, he lives there, wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to push the
They
Vegas
have some
team
big
around.
guys. They got some big defensemen. So
and he was a UFA, so they got to talk with him first and signed his 1 year
That's
deal.
right. They did sign it, which is sort of a cool. I think that was they had two like that. I don't know if I forgot who the other one was, but they definitely signed England.
This team will not get pushed around.
And I think he's a Las Vegas resident, wasn't he?
That's what we're saying. Yeah, because he played on the ECHL team years ago. The Wranglers.
That's sort of a cool deal coming back. That's going to be some good PR for the Vegas team.
So he's lived there 12 years or so, they said. Yeah.
That is really cool. So we are going to take another break. We are at Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. We're here till 3. A lot of good times here. A lot of good food. It looks like Rick and Greg are eating some great pizza.
We're doing well.
I'm getting hungry here. Again, come on down, Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. This is Real Hockey Talk. We'll be right back.
NBC Sports Radio AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live from Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Great place. I just ordered a pizza. Pepperoni, mushrooms, pineapple, tomato slices, you name it. It is on the pizza. I'm Dave alongside Greg and the hockey guru from Boston who lives in Phoenix, Rick, who has an NHL NBC hat. Greg does too. I just have, what do I have?
NBC Sports.
That's what it says?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. And I like your
my Team
logo.
Finland.
Yeah, Team Finland. Yeah, did we say that? They broke a record?
This is from the World Cup.
6 picks from Finland.
6 picks in the first and 5 in the second.
Breaking the record of 5.
Yeah, they're good.
Man, that's a hockey country, Miss
Per
Sheen.
capita.
Pretty neat. But who has the more beautiful women, though? Is it Finland or Sweden?
It's a tie.
How about songs? I like ABBA. When did ABBA break up? I ask everyone this. No one gets it.
84?
Oh, I must have asked you that.
No.
Yeah, you keep telling us. It's the weirdest thing.
My age. I grew, and that's we're right.
You were right. They were fantastic, right? Did you like their music?
Well, yeah, with a little bit of everything.
They're going to have Mamma Mia 2, by the way. And the guys who got divorced from the girls, they're, I think, producing it and writing some songs.
It's not going to be the existing songs, so they're going to write new ones?
I think they'll have some existing one, but I think they'll write, new ones.
I'm going to go on the limb right now and say it'll bomb.
Oh, wow. You got Meryl Streep. You got Pierce, right? What's his name? Pearson.
Pierce Bronson.
Pierce Bronson.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of the cast, right?
Okay.
I like Mamma Mia. Did you like it?
It was good.
Yeah. If you like singing. Okay. So we ended up with who? England?
Yeah, we're on to
Derek
Brendan
England.
Leipsic of the former left wing of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, man.
Not a bad pick either. He's a victim of the numbers in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, that's true.
Potential.
Yeah, young, still young, no doubt about it. 23, and wow. So he's
he'll make the team.
Yeah, he should actually, and 51 points. Yeah, in 49 games in AHL, but yeah, that's not going to be easy to make Toronto's team. I mean, they got all these great young players.
Hence he got.
Now, your team, defenseman from Boston. Did you like the guy Colin Miller?
Colin Miller is part of that whole L.A. deal. He was he's a fast-moving defenseman. Had a pretty good year. I didn't want to see them lose Adam McQuaid. They lost Colin Miller.
Right.
But something may be in the works here of Miller going to Toronto. That's been kicked around.
Is that right?
Back in, but then I'm hearing no. But I think Colin Miller, Mark Method, Alexei Emelin, 2 of those 3 guys are going to be moved in the next 48 hours.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be
but he's a good player. Miller can move.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, of course, July 1st. You think there's going to be a lot of action quickly?
There always is some quick, yeah, definitely. And we'll get more into the free agency in a bit, a little preview of it. Not a good market, but it really is.
Well, TJ is probably the starter.
Yeah, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
Washington.
Yeah,
now,
8 years.
So everyone, I don't know. That seems like a long time.
Well, 8 years is the max they could go, and the cap is under $6 million. So because they went the 8 years, I think they saved a little on cap. But it's one of those deals. I think you'll a couple of years down the line look and go, ugh.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I mean,
I like Oshie a lot.
Yeah. So Washington? Who are they you think gonna lose then? Williams coming back, or maybe not?
Probably not.
Probably not.
No. And
Balzer's gone.
They've had the last 2 years.
They've lost Nate Schmidt, and we haven't got to him yet. That's huge.
And they really wanted to keep him.
They got issues on their blue line.
Yeah.
That if they don't do it right, they could drop significantly in that division next year.
After 2 amazing years, right?
They could be a bubble team if they don't do this right. I know they got Burakovsky and a lot of good young players and stuff, but they're at risk.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, I don't know if there's many regrets, but probably. I mean, after 2 years winning the President's Trophy and not at all making it the Stanley Cup, that's tough. That's got to drive them crazy. What about Ovechkin? He needs to get in better shape?
Yes.
Think he will?
I think he doesn't have a choice.
Or else he's out of there, right?
Well,
I'm kidding.
Said than done.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah, it's a shame that he can't self-monitor.
But they'll still have that, with Ovechkin, Backstrom, Oshie. And Oshie finally, his first 30-plus goal season.
Right.
But playing with those guys, Oshie's shouldn't normally be a 30-goal guy, but and then Kuznetsov. So they still got that offensive talent, but I agree with you, Rick. The back end, I mean, who knows what could happen.
And their third and fourth line need more scoring.
Yeah, because they did have some depth, but some of these guys now that they'll lose.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what they do over there. Yeah, they really don't want to lose Schmidt. I mean, they offered McPhee some assets to say, don't take him, please.
And Nate Schmidt was arguably, and I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, was probably the best Capitals defenseman in that 7-game series against the Penguins.
Okay.
I think
it's a tough loss.
Yeah, I think you are correct. And all right, so what number are we on?
We are on number 20.
All right,
Coyote.
Ottawa Senators, Mark.
Oh yeah, Mark. I'm getting
we're
ahead
on
of
Ottawa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Method.
Oh, so we're then on 19 then.
Yeah, we're on 19 now. Does he stay? He's got
6'3".
too much value for McPhee to do something with that. Method's a top 2 defenseman paired with Erik Karlsson. The last few years. Now Erik Karlsson's coming off double torn tendon surgery. He's going to be out 4 months.
He was on crutches.
He's out 4 months. So if you look at Ottawa next year, Karlsson's probably going to miss the first 30 games, the first 20 games of the season.
Oh man, that's not going to be
right. That could be if they come out 500 on that. It could have a factor down the road in a real tough division. But Method's good player. He will be moved in the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
You think?
I agree, yeah. I mean, if Vegas did end up keeping him, it would be nice veteran, very strong defensively. Not the greatest skater, but I agree, yeah. It seems like Dallas has had a lot of interest. But
he has a list of teams. He's got 12 teams that he will not go to. I don't know if Dallas is on that list.
Is Phoenix?
Arizona. Dave, he doesn't call them Arizona. He still has them as Phoenix.
Yeah, I do.
It always happens, and then sometimes people will go, what are these guys talking about? It's
exactly.
Like, we know.
But he's a player.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Tough player.
So they should get good value on a trade.
They will. It'll be draft picks. Mm-hmm. It'll be draft picks for next year and a stronger draft in 2018 than it was this year.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the next one, someone we are familiar with, also played in the ECHL, Dave
Schlemko.
San Jose.
Former Yote.
Yep.
Now on his seventh team. Is characterized as a puck-moving defenseman, yet he's on his seventh team. So,
one of the guys moved quickly over to Montreal, and I think they got a fifth-round pick, I believe Vegas did for him. But I think Montreal Schlemko will do fine, kind of like with San Jose in a bottom pairing role.
Yeah,
as long as he's in that type of role. But so Vegas gets a little value for
Montreal
him.
didn't improve with that one.
No, I agree. Now, the thing is, I would have thought maybe Vegas could have got a little more for him than a fifth. But from Montreal's standpoint, any draft pick has some value. You never know what could happen. But I think for a fifth rounder, I think it helps at least their depth there in Montreal.
A lot
of
commentators
they
said
could get.
This was one of the worst things that Vegas did.
Yeah, they could have got
The
more
trade?
than a fifth.
Well,
yeah.
even to pick him.
Yeah.
They thought that maybe there were some other people available that might have.
Well, they could have tried like a Martin. He was exposed there. Older veteran, but still, has value. And
yeah, so that's, the way it ended up, but, fifth rounder. So, all right, here's one that could be good, though. St. Louis, forward, David Perron.
He'll stick around.
Yeah.
He'll get first line minutes, power play. He can score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
left wing.
Mm-hmm. 18 goals last year, and then with all the ice time, like you said, with power play, all that good stuff, maybe get back to 20. Yeah,
he should.
He has that kind of pestiness to his game, annoys people. I know him and Jonathan Quick have always had some interesting battles there in the playoffs when those two teams used to meet a lot when he was with the Blues. His first time with the Blues. Been around a little, but I liked it.
Take some bad penalties now and then.
Yeah.
But who doesn't?
Yeah, very true.
So we're on 22?
I have no idea. I'm just
read
it off.
Oscar Lindberg.
Number 22.
I like that a lot.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good centerman from the Rangers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Should make the team.
Oh, yeah. And he has some offensive ability. I remember his first, 3 games or something? He had 3 or 4 goals with the Rangers. And, not a huge offensive guy, but overall a good player and with maybe extra ice time.
Yeah, he'll get more minutes here.
Yeah, that's an exciting one. It seemed like a lot of fans there really liked it, too.
Right.
So he was traded to the Rangers by the Coyotes in exchange for Ethan Werrick. Where is Werrick?
He's long gone, probably.
Yeah.
Probably overseas.
Sort of an interesting trade, huh?
Yeah, a few years ago, yeah. I think Werrick might have been a Kings draft pick, and then ended up with I forgot, but it turned out obviously better for the Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Now losing him, but still at least for a little while.
Yeah. All right, Edmonton.
Griffin Reinhart, former first-round bust of the Islanders.
Another big guy, though.
He won't. I don't see him making the team.
No,
it's unfortunate, because the Reinhart family. Obviously he'll get an opportunity to, but he's still young per se. But I agree. That's tough.
Yeah.
That he just hasn't lived up anywhere near that billing that we would have thought.
Right.
So. Probably Gunner.
Well, not via trade. I think he's going to have to either make the team or he's going to be in the American Hockey League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I wonder his waiver eligibility if he's played enough pro yet, because when you think at 23, he might be a guy that if he doesn't make the team might have to clear waivers to go down. I'm not 100% sure with him. He might have another year left of that, but. He could end up being a decent asset if he could somehow put it together. Maybe less pressure on him.
Could be.
No.
Yeah. Now, Montreal Canadiens, number, what are we, 24?
Alexei Emelin. And I get to watch him a lot against the Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? 31.
I can't stand him myself. I think he takes cheap shots all over the ice.
Really?
He's a dirty player.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about...
And they will move him.
They will.
You think he'll be moved?
I think he'll be moved. Methot and Emelin, and then Colin Miller to a lesser extent will be moved.
So still a lot to become aware of.
And with the Miller thing, Rick, as you mentioned earlier with Toronto, I think Toronto was trying to get a Hamonic or a more top pairing guy, and if that doesn't work in the next maybe week or so, I think they said they may fall back to the Miller. And
he's a good transition defenseman. He's quick out of his own end, good shooter, good skater.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I remember the trade, the Lucic. A lot of Kings people were like, really? Why'd you move him?
Yep. Next, Clayton Stoner.
Oh, Anaheim, right?
And Shea Theodore, technically.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Another big guy. 6'4". I mean,
stay home.
They got some big ones.
Yeah.
And he's not a big scorer. That's he got hurt a little bit last year. Pretty much missed most of the season with Anaheim, didn't he? I don't know what was his injury. Do you know?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but he's going to really enjoy. Well, in Anaheim, he would have enjoyed it as well. But in a week, July 1st, he'll enjoy Vegas and Nevada even more. No, the thing is with that, it's one of those where Josh Manson and Vatanen were available, but of course.
There was a deal. There was a wink-wink.
Yeah, and the wink-wink, the deal was Shea Theodore moved on, which was a good asset for Vegas to get because, former first-round pick, still very young, did well in the playoffs last year for the Ducks, and has top-pairing potential. And I know he's a guy that, with those minutes there in Vegas, with Theodore there, is that type of guy hopefully you could kind of build around on the back end. Hopefully he could live up to his potential over there.
That's right. And then, yeah.
I love this next pick that they got from the Wild, Eric Hall of the Sun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good player.
Adds a lot to that team. And, man, I think he was a Minnesota guy, and I believe even in his college he might have played there, and then with the Wild. And
well, he's from Finland, though. He did play on the Team Finland,
Oh, okay.
But he did play at University of Minnesota.
Right, that's right, yeah. And, I mean, bottom six, but I think, 15 goals last year, which nowadays is nice. I mean,
good two-way player.
So another good one.
And then they got Alex Tuck, too, for taking Holland, who's a pretty good prospect, and, maybe we'll have that opportunity to make the team at a little offense, possibly.
Wow. Then we have Columbus Blue Jackets, William Karlsson.
Another trade type of situation. Yes. But Karlsson actually is a really good penalty killer. Maybe with extra time there, maybe could add a little more offense, maybe get a chance at the top six. But smart player. I do like it. And then obviously, getting the first rounder and everything. They took David Clarkson still as well, obviously.
Right.
But no, I still think it will be fine. He'll be on the team. Yeah.
The next pick was Trevor Van Riemsdyk, UNH.
Already traded.
Younger brother of James, who've already traded and being paired up with Brent Pesce at Carolina.
Yeah.
And the two UNH guys together. Here's an interesting stat. Carolina didn't make the playoffs last year. And, they struggled. Yeah. Brent Pesce is a defenseman at a plus 23 plus-minus last year. One guy.
Wow.
So that's why they're putting the two of them together.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Yes.
That is cool.
That's what I said. Beware Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
They're in a brutal division in Metropolitan.
Oh, they are, but man, oh, man.
They could be a sleeper.
And I think Scott Darling will do very well there. I think he's tremendous.
They've made moves.
Yeah. And if they're move one of their excess defensemen and can get a Duchesne or get someone. I know Ron Francis really wants it. He really wants to get that top line forward, and I think they'll do whatever it takes.
And as I constantly beat the NCAA drum, Scott Dowling is from University of Maine.
Really? Okay.
Hockey
that's right.
East guy.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's a theme here, and I hope they're listening out in Glendale.
He used to be on the Yotes, too.
Scott Darling? I did not know that.
Very briefly.
With the organization.
Very briefly? Okay.
Yeah. And
what did we learn? I just learned something.
Yeah. And what do we...
he had a great year for Chicago.
He did. Oh, yeah.
The star of the whole.
Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, he really got a great ovation when they announced him. And he was there. And what do you guys think?
I mean, clearly he's on his way to the Hall of Fame. I as long as they have a pretty good team in front of him, if he's the type of guy that's got to face 50 shots a night, you're not going to think of him as a Hall of Famer. None of them. He's not Matt Murray. He's not, but he still is solid. He's an ultimate teammate and team player. Personally, I love the guy. It was a no-brainer.
Three Stanley Cups. Can't beat that. And
no,
that leadership.
Two-time All-Star, 11 and 15.
Always smiling.
Yeah.
They call him the ultimate
professional
team player.
Right.
Because he's very unselfish.
As you said, with the always smiling, there's two players in the league that always smile. Him and Dwight King. The difference is Dwight King looks like a serial killer.
Did Montreal just release him?
Yeah, they're not going to re-sign him. Unfortunately, he didn't do well there, but he's actually not a bad bottom six guy. But he just shouldn't be used in any other role. But, yeah, the fans so pumped for Fleury there.
Yeah.
A lot of Penguin fans, obviously, they knew it was coming. They love him so much that they'll cheer him on when he goes back to Pittsburgh. In fact, some of them might secretly root for Vegas to win that game. They love him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tremendous
very
guy.
Popular. And Rick's guy.
Nate Schmidt.
Yeah, right.
Good player. Arguably was the best Capitals D-man on the ice against the Penguins. He good transition, speed, good pickup for Vegas.
Yeah, and undrafted. That's always interesting when I see that.
Yeah, out of the University of Minnesota, but he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's always great to see that. The guys that develop maybe a little later and really have that passion for the game. But, yeah, like you said, Rick Schmidt, I mean, the Caps didn't want to lose him. They offered their former McPhee, their former GM McPhee, some assets not to take him. And I'm sure McPhee's like, nope, I'm the one that got him in originally there.
Oh, yeah.
I want him.
McPhee had the power, and he wielded it perfectly.
He did. And I know there's already teams,
upset
I believe the Maple Leafs, already trying to see if he would flip them.
Oh.
Yeah, Toronto, one of them, I believe. But, yeah, I mean, he's like, nope, he's staying here.
Yep.
And, yeah, it's be fun to kind of see him, and his name will get out there a little. Well, obviously, being in the playoffs on a great team like Washington, yeah, you're out there, but because of all the stars they have. But now, in Vegas, I think he'll really be known there to the fans, and now the Western Conference will see him a little more and kind of appreciate it.
You think that Vegas will make that much of a splash in free agency? I don't think they do.
No, not yet. No,
But they got to get to the floor, though.
Yeah, they'll.
They have to get to the floor.
They'll bring in some guys, some bodies there, and may overpay a little on short-term deals because of that reason. But man, oh man, I don't think you'll see anything significant. And it could be maybe a guy that has a nice name to him, used to be a good player that is slowed down a lot, that maybe is okay with just making a little more money and no state tax there. But, yeah, I don't think there'll be a player. I don't think you'll see them, try to entice like a Joe Thornton or anything like that at this point.
I don't think Joe's going anywhere.
Yeah. I do think at least one of Marleau or Thornton may be leaving San Jose. Because I know they both want 3 years. Obviously, San Jose won't do it. But, yeah, Thornton maybe will go fine. I'll do one, maybe two. But, we'll see.
Now, there were transactions. I mean, we talked about Shea Theodore because that wasn't per se the draft. That was the transaction. Buffalo Sabres, the Golden Knights acquired Buffalo's 2017 sixth-round draft pick. Carolina, Vegas acquired Boston's 2017 fifth-round draft pick, previously acquired by Carolina. The Blue Jackets, they acquired in 2017 first-round draft pick, and the Columbus 2019 second-round draft pick, and as Greg said, forward David Clarkson. But he wasn't. They're not done. They acquired the forward Riley Smith we talked about in exchange for a 2018 fourth-round draft pick, and Vegas acquired Alex Tuck in exchange for a conditional third-round draft pick in either 17 or 18. Islanders, let's see, Vegas acquired Jake Bischoff. Mikkel, say that.
Grabowski?
Yeah, that one.
He can play.
And
is he going to? I know he concussion last year, some type of injury, I believe. But Yeah, I mean, if he is healthy, though.
So do any of these free agent names get you excited? Besides Thornton and Miller, Ryan Miller's out there. Vegas isn't going to take him.
No.
Andrei Markov, too old. Radulov, we talked about. Yager.
Yager could still play and tutor some young guys.
Jerome McGinley. Dan Girardi's done. Dennis Weidman.
I mean, he could provide maybe a little offense from the back. Yeah,
former Coyote, by the way.
Just don't
Francois Beauchemin.
Bottom out. Well, he had a tough time there in Colorado, nearing the end of the career.
Kevin Shattenkirk. Let's have a little Kevin Shattenkirk discussion.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Exposed. And it explains why St. Louis moved him when they did.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't miss him. In fact, they got better.
They did, yeah. The defensive end. Yeah, granted, offensively, fantastic.
But even that, you saw him in the power play for Washington. He
had some trouble there.
Maybe he just played tight. I know we're coming up for a break here, but Mike Stone is still out there.
And Calgary, despite that move, wants to bring him back.
I would bring him back. Right-handed shot.
And a bottom pairing would be nice.
Wish he was still here. They've got a solid D. The name I like is Chris Kunitz. But I think Pittsburgh's going to do everything they can to sign him.
Kunitz is interesting. Yeah, he came up huge in the playoffs. And
always does.
At his age, I mean, it's tough, but yeah, because he has that pedigree with him. I mean, I'm sure we'll see some contenders say, okay, what will it take? But I'm sure he loves it there in Pittsburgh.
So that type of pedigree, you're talking, in Marchand getting named to the first-team All-Star left wing, not bad for a pest that can score. He's on the first-team All-Star. You need a guy like that, whether it's Andrew Shaw. You need a guy, and Pittsburgh needs him.
Oh, and even though Vegas picked all those defensemen, I wonder if in free agency they go after Carl Alsner. I know McPhee had negotiated with him during that 48-hour window. The former McPhee first-round pick there with Washington. And then gives them another top four guy, and they can move even another defenseman out. This is Real Hockey Talk, broadcasting Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell. Another half hour to go, and we'll be right back. NBC Sports Radio, AM 1060.
Catch the best of local and national sports talk right here on NBC Sports Radio AM 1060. Weekdays from 11 to 2 in the Sports Zone with Bob Kemp.
And welcome back again. You're listening to Real Hockey Talk live on NBC Sports AM 1060 KDUS. We are live at Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Come on down. We're here till 3. Great place. I got to tell you, great food. I just had a pizza. What do you guys say?
We had a pizza as well. It was good.
It was delicious. That's right.
I think our listeners heard us eating it too.
They probably did.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah. No, I saw it. I witnessed
it.
That's
the experience.
Actually, we should get Conrad on the show in a few minutes.
We should.
Yeah, we should indeed. Why don't you guys go over? If you were the GM, if Greg was a GM of the Kings and you were the GM of...
His dream job, by the way.
Yeah, and that means you would probably not be on NBC Sports any longer if you were the GM of the respective teams.
Okay, very good.
I'll be right back with Conrad.
Good day to you. Yes. Yeah, well, right. We'll both handle the Coyotes, too, while Dave's gone.
Go ahead. You're the L.A. Kings. You're looking at free agency. How much money you got to spend?
Well, in the short term, I would look about $6 million cap there, and that's the number after the rest of our RFAs are brought back. Okay. It just, thinking of what they'll probably get. So about $6 million. There's the thing, you need a top line forward. Not going to get that. Radulov is going to want too much. So you're not going for him. In just kind of looking at the rest of the market, what I would do in this case, we talked a little bit off break. You're trying to get younger. Yes. Obviously, with free agency, that won't happen. However, yes, if you can't work out a trade to get a young top six forward, then you go after a centerman like a Nick Bonino, who yes, was third-line center with Pittsburgh, but he could be a second-line center. He could do well on the power play, and then you could move Jeff Carter up to the Kopitar line. So then you could have Bonino on that second line, and so spread the scoring out a bit. And another guy, and a surprise guy at his age, and especially because, again, we're trying to get younger. Mm-hmm. And the only way he'll probably leave his current team is if they don't offer the 3 years he supposedly wants. But if for some way you could get him for 1 year, like he's leaving, would be Big Joe Thornton. Even though he's slow, move Carter to Kopitar, and then you just have Thornton. Doesn't have to skate, just passing it off to Toffoli and Pearson.
Would he make that move within the division?
If he left San Jose, I think he wouldn't mind staying in California. The problem is that if he leaves San Jose because of the 3-year commitment thing, I don't see L.A. offering 3 years. I'd be shocked if they did. If for some reason he left just to leave, I do think they would have an opportunity there. There's not really much. I would rather make a trade, even though it would be giving up an asset, a defenseman, because of the depth that we have, to get that younger top six guy, because I hate free agency. However, a guy like Bonino, if you can get for like $4 million a year, maybe for 4 years, something like that, at 29 right now, it's like, okay, that's not terrible because he's still in his prime,
right? Stuff
like that. So there's always risks out there, but because of the lack of the market, I would even have a little guilty pleasure for Mr. Yager. Just bring him in for a year and have him, he could still offensively do stuff, but that's the point. There's just not much out there.
Yeah.
There I am. Okay. Why don't we bring Conrad West in real quickly, and then we'll go ahead and I don't think you mentioned Rick, the GM, yet, but we will go ahead and do that. But joining us right now is the great general manager of Mod Pizza here, 75th Avenue and Bell Road. Conrad, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Geez, I hope I can live up to the hype here.
Oh, you will, because we've been talking about general managers, some of the hockey teams. And it's probably not that unsimilar, running the show here. This is a great place, and I'll tell you why I think that is the service is always amazing to me.
Thank you.
They know my name. We're getting a picture taken right now.
Yes, we are.
And that is very cool. And the food is just outstanding. The salads, I love, everything. The salads, I usually come away with a salad or two. So,
well, I certainly appreciate it. I'm first of all, thank you guys for coming.
Absolutely.
Always happy to have you here. And I'm glad to be here, too. So,
yeah.
Doing the managing thing, we've been moving and grooving today. This is actually the first couple of minutes I've had to come over and say hi. So
yeah.
I'm glad I was able to sneak that in. And
it's perfect timing.
Yeah, we've been rocking and rolling here. So
this is a relatively, I think, new. I mean, you've grown quickly, but
yes.
when did Mod Pizza actually start?
Mod started in 2008 up in Seattle, and from 2008 to where we're at now, 2017, from store one, we're up to, I want to say, close to 240-ish, something in there right now.
That's great. Incredible expansion.
Yeah.
And just shows how good it is, actually.
Yes. We're doing what we do. Like I've said in the past, we're here for the people. So I always want, when the folks come in here, I want them to have a good time. I want them to enjoy what interaction we can have, and hopefully, the food speaks for itself, and hopefully the service can add a little more to that.
Yeah, and you really set the tone. I mean, and I think that's so important. The top guy here setting the tone for service, for quality, welcoming everyone that walks in this place, and that's a really nice credit to you and your staff.
Thank you. That's what we do here. I'd have it no other way, and anything less, we're not going to stay in. So,
yeah.
They do a great job. I have a great team here.
Now, for those who, for some reason, still don't know about Mod Pizza, I'd be shocked. But if they don't, why don't you describe the style?
Sure.
How they would come in and pick,
sure thing.
Customize their salad and pizza.
So what we do here, we're not going to charge any extra for toppings. We go our mod-sized pizza, $7.67.
Good deal.
Put what you'd like on that. That's our 11-inch personal pizza. Put what you'd like on that. The price is going to stay the same at the end of the line. And in 3 to 5 minutes in that fire-breathing dragon of an oven I got back there, we're going to have it ready for you. And, I'm going to hope it's to everybody's liking. So
and also the salads, you pick your own toppings too.
Same deal. Works
couple prices on that, right?
Yeah, we offer a side salad for $4.67. Our mod size salad, that's more of an entree size.
Yeah,
$7.67 on that guy, and then we have a family size, a mega. Yeah, $10.67.
Which is really mega.
Yeah, it is.
It's a great deal. I will get that, and I'll split it in two and eat it in different days. The salad is what I really like about it, because I come here a lot, is the freshness. It's the quality of the lettuce, of all the toppings, pizza or not, the salad, and it's just delicious. I mean, and the pricing is just it's incredibly affordable for anyone.
Absolutely, we want to make it. If you're coming in here by yourself, or if you're weekend night, taking the family out, it's going to be an affordable experience that, I want people to remember for that maybe one time a week. They came in here, hey, Friday night we're going to come back. That was a great time. Food was great. And that's all I can hope for.
And that's what's important today with families. If you have 4 people in your family, for example, or even more, you go to some other restaurant, it's going to cost you a bit, quite a bit.
Right.
This is very affordable because you have the small pizzas too, don't you?
Yeah, we also offer a mini size, more of a kids option.
Yeah.
$4.67 on that guy, and it works the same way. You put what you like on it. But that seems to be a good one for the kiddos, and we're just happy to be here and glad to be here doing what we're doing.
There's no doubt. And what are the hours?
Right now, Sunday through Thursday, we start at 10:30 in the morning, close at 9, and then Friday and Saturday start at 10:30 in the morning, and then we're here till 11. Sunday through Thursday we're open till 10.
Oh,
Friday and Saturday till 11.
Those are really good hours, I think, because if you want a late night snack, you're here.
We're still here.
There's no doubt. I've been here for late night snacks. Yes, I have, and it's really good. Now, do you have like a happy hour?
What we're doing right now on Tuesday is our $2 Tuesdays. So we have a couple of draft beers on tap. I have Papago Orange Blossom and Santan Devil's Ale on tap. Those guys are $2 a piece on Tuesday. So that's the special we're running now, and seems to be getting a pretty decent response. So.
Well, that's good, yeah. And, of course, you have seating inside.
Oh, yeah.
You have seating outside, too, as
well. We do.
Yeah.
The outside seating in the past couple of days, there hasn't been a whole lot of activity out there with the high temperatures. But
119, right?
If you want to go out and hang in 119, you're absolutely more than welcome, and I'm not going to tell you no.
The pizza may cook a bit more out there.
Yeah.
But
now, Conrad, are you happy at all with your Buffalo Sabres and how they've done at the draft for all this weekend?
Yes, I'd like to say I am. I'm trying to keep up on what I can. I've been Mod has kept me busy this past week, so
I was going to say,
unfortunately, the small amount of sports I can get in is just checking the phone,
right?
Yeah,
seeing my Sabres, the Coyotes made some moves, which Donor going out there, of course. A little bit bummed about that, but the fact of the reality is, time takes its toll, and it's just unfortunate. But that's what happens, and we got some new blood in there, so I'm already looking forward to hockey season. I know it just ended, but
wow! And you're from Buffalo.
I went to college in Buffalo. I'm originally from upstate New York, so about 3 hours from Buffalo. But I spent some time there, and now it's. Get what baseball I can in, and then I'm ready for hockey season again.
Yeah, big baseball fan.
Yep, yes, I am. I try to follow
Yankees.
Try to follow what I can. No, not
Mets.
a Yankees fan. I'm a Mets fan.
Okay.
It was kind of funny where I'm from. You're either a Yankees fan for the baseball side of things, or if you're getting into the football side of things, you're going to be a New York Giants fan. I was neither. I was a Mets fan, and my dad was actually a Jets fan. So,
oh, wow.
We were kind of going against the grain there upstate, but just looking forward to it.
So your dad probably liked Joe Willie Namath.
That's what got him into
Yeah.
it. Was always that guaranteed Super Bowl victory, and then
Broadway
followed through with
Joe.
it. And that's what put him onto the Jets.
That is so cool. He definitely had a nice PR behind himself.
Only can I imagine a little before my time, but everything I see in the old films and stuff. He was his own guy.
Yeah,
I'm sure he still is.
Yeah, I see him in interviews still. He looks he looks pretty good still. Not sure how old he's got to be in the 70s. I'm sure.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's been a while, and but Buffalo, I will say, I was at the draft last year, and I really liked the setup in Buffalo, where they had the Marriott Hotel, I believe, and then they had this huge bars I called 526 or something.
716, probably.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that was an amazing place. I really enjoyed it, and it's right connected to the arena.
It's right there.
And I really like that. And we were talking about the Vegas situation, where T-Mobile Arena now, between Monte Carlo and New York, really a 4-minute walk out of Monte Carlo, and you got to say, hey, this is a good destination too.
It's going to be something else. I'm looking forward to the shakeup here in the Western Conference, and just looking forward to another good season. I know we got football and baseball and all that ahead of us, but
you love hockey.
I'm ready to be back there.
Excellent. Yeah, you should go to Vegas when you have a shot.
Just a couple hours up the street and hop, skip, and a jump on the plane. So
yeah.
I'm sure I might be able to sneak one of those in this year.
It will be fun. So, Conrad, thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us here. This is such a great place. And
thank you, guys.
Again, you're open till 11 tonight, so
yes,
people, whether it's an early dinner, a regular dinner, or late night snack, this is the place to be. It's really good. Conrad, thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
again.
Conrad.
You got it, guys.
All righty. So now we got about one more segment on the show, and we'll talk some more hockey about if Rick...
The GM of the Bruins?
No, I was going to sing the song. If Rick was a carpenter and someone over there was a lady.
Don't sing that.
Okay, I wasn't going to sing that one.
You don't want to lose your audience. So really quickly here in the remaining 10 to 12 minutes, if I was the GM of the Boston Bruins.
Would you still talk to us?
Don Sweeney. I would.
Okay, there we go.
I would, because I could, if you were the GM of the Coyotes, I could fleece you.
Yeah, you probably could.
No, it would be the other way around, actually.
They've got room under the cap, but they got to pay some guys coming up. So they're going to be pretty quiet. They may make a move on Bonino just because he played at BU. A lot of teams are going to make a move on Bonino. But what they really need right now is a more consistent backup goalie. I think they're going to walk away from Kubodin. Zane McIntyre had a good playoff. Malcolm Subban is a head case. Needs to figure something out. But he's rated so highly, so you're not going to give up on him. So you're going to let those guys mature a little bit more. So you need to bring in a backup goalie for Rask. Rask cannot play more than 60 games a year. You got to put him in the 50 to 55.
Okay.
So that's easier said than done. I don't think Ryan Miller mentally wants to be a backup. He still thinks he'd be a great backup.
Yeah.
He'd be a phenomenal backup. But you'll see them maybe move. I'd bring in a Michael Condon, who was on the Canadiens when Price got hurt. Ottawa this past year. He's a local kid from Boston. You can probably bring him in for $1 million. He's got NHL experience. I'd bring Michael Condon in, backup goalie. Because I'll tell you, and I'm not just doing this because I'm a homie, the Bruins are going to be very, very good next year. They are stacked with draft picks and minor leaguers and youth movement. They are good. They are very good.
They could challenge Pittsburgh for the...
They're gonna move up from their 4th, 5th, 6th place in the East and be a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I definitely think so.
Wow, that's good for you.
Okay.
Huh?
I definitely think so.
You're excited.
I'm excited.
You may move back.
No.
Oh,
no.
That was a definite, right?
Because I can only play golf there 7.5 months a year.
Oh, and how often do you play here?
12 months a year.
But how often a week?
Oh, well, yeah,
Once?
1.5.
Really? What's a 0.5 of a golf game?
I might play 9 holes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because after the show tonight, when I'll drive my way home, I'll get over there and play a little bit.
Really?
I'm playing tomorrow morning. But my wife is away on a business trip, so
Really?
Yep, she's back Tuesday. I try to sneak out once during the week at Seville and play a little bit and
play a little golf. Let's clarify that.
Play a little golf.
So you're a bachelor right now.
I'm a bachelor until Tuesday afternoon.
So
I don't want any callers to get any ideas.
Oh, I was going to give the number out. A night with Rick.
So, all right, Mr. Coyotes GM, what would you do?
I would get Doan back. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's serious.
I'm not serious.
And he'd overpay him.
Yeah, I would. I would give him ownership.
2 years at $18 million. That's what you do, because
he
owes it.
No, I think what they need are some veteran, and I don't think I don't know who's available. You guys tell me. Some veteran wingers that would, sort of like Verbata. But,
Yager.
Well, he's really veteran. I don't know. It may be, but
Iginla.
No, probably not. But someone younger still that can play 32, years
Chris
old.
Kunitz.
Maybe. Someone that can help the young kids, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. That's the thing that's tough, because, Kunitz is 37, and...
Is he that old?
He is. He looks young. Yeah, but he's...
Okay, you're right.
And even though Yager is 45, Coyotes need the top 6 right winger, and if they can't get it via trade... I mean, you don't want to hinder any young guy's development or spots, but if there is a spot, that might... Other than bringing back Verbata, of course, there's something about Yager. He could put butts in the seats. And what he did with the Florida youngsters, Barkov and company,
he missed
it helped.
The playoffs.
Yeah, well, last year, but the year before. But that was because of the management, mismanaging, and then getting rid of Kalana.
So you think Yager
if you use that rationale,
they probably won't.
They would have kept Shane Doan.
But Yager is a totally different player at this stage, though.
He's
the
still
offensive ability. Yeah. But again, I'm not saying they should do it. It's not a very good free agent market for what the Coyotes would need. I mean, maybe you go if you can't get make a trade to get a top 6 forward because you don't want to bring in anyone too old there. Maybe one option is, and even though they have that. The centerman now, getting step on and company, but because a guy like Richardson could play wing if you need to, is not that you want to overspend for this, but maybe you could look into a Brian Boyle who could provide some leadership in the.
But you have 4 centermen.
Well, you do, but the thing is, Richardson you can move to wing, and then you could get a big center iceman like Boyle who you could put out against other teams' top guys sometimes. And what could happen is it could open up, the step-on line to play maybe against another team's second line. Not saying to do that, but if we got to find anyone in free agency, that's the problem. There's really nothing.
Yeah.
They got to do it via trade. Yeah, but he wouldn't come here.
How do you know?
Nah, because he's...
Because of the L.A. being on a King, he didn't want to come to...
No, I think he's staying on the East. Maybe the furthest west would be like a Chicago area. If he did go out west, I think the only place would be L.A. If Blake and Robitaille called him and said, hey, hi, Kopitar on the line, come back.
How about a Patrick Marleau?
I think he's a guy that would like the West. The only thing is if he leaves San Jose, I think he's strict on where he goes. I think it will only be a team that he knows could maybe win next year. Even though the Coyotes, I think, will challenge for a playoff spot.
Anaheim?
They're not. If they had money. I don't know if they'll have the cap space. Now, they re-signed Eves.
How about Patrick Sharp?
He could be interesting to kind of bring in on the cheap because not many teams may be bidding on him. And I just, for the Coyotes, don't really like any of them out there except Chris Versteeg maybe because he did well with Calgary last year. Just someone cheap that won't be a long-term commitment. And the only reason I mentioned Brian Boyle, I know he's a bottom 6 guy and you don't really need that, was strictly because it could be matchup stuff with other people and to get a big-bodied center iceman in there, because then you can move Richardson around to, wing and having then you would have, one of the better fourth-line centers in the game, which seems weird, but if it could change matchups around a little bit. But that's the thing. That's how weak free agency is, at least for what the Coyotes would need. That's why it has to be via trade. and then again, maybe a Versteeg or, if you think with Yager, people probably laugh like Yager.
I'd like to see Arizona bring Dan Winnick back.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Help the penalty kill and the speed. Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, him and Brad Richardson out there killing penalties with Martin. Yeah. They'd have a pretty good penalty team.
Yeah.
So let me ask both of you real quickly. With the limited amount of depth of free agency, does that drive the prices up for the people there a little bit?
I don't know anymore.
Depend who is in the most desperate need.
Yeah.
And I don't really see anyone that desperate that's going to do something. Although Anaheim with Eves, I don't get that.
I mean, he had a great year last year before they got him, then was outstanding, even better when they got him. But I think it may have been a flash in the pan year for him because before that, I think he had one 20-goal year before that years and years ago. But, I don't think it's like that as much. I think GMs have wised up a bit. So that's why I do believe you could see some teams that you wouldn't expect to be in on a free agent, maybe not a lot of cap space, all of a sudden, okay, we actually have a shot. That's why maybe L.A. with Bonino. Now, with him, a lot of teams will be in on him per se, but also because there's not a lot of depth out there. But I don't think anyone's going to go crazy anymore. I think teams do sometimes, but the last few free agent years, the worst deals like last year, Poso and Lucic last year. Poso, unfortunately, had his illness. Now, Lucic, nice addition, but obviously in a few years the Oilers will go, oh, now he can't skate anymore.
Montreal's trying to move Galchenyuk.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet.
Right, and they might end up re-signing him now. There's some talk because they're not getting what they want, obviously, and man, he would be nice for the Coyotes.
I think he needs to get out of Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a guy if the Coyotes could pick up. He could play center and wing, but again, if you get another center in there, you could just shuffle some guys around. And because, they have Dvorak, Stepan, Strome, and as you said with Richardson, but you could always shuffle a guy like Richardson.
I think Montreal wants to bring Marty Hansel in as their third-line center.
Really?
I think so.
Okay.
They need a little size up front. They have very small forwards on Montreal.
They are little midgets there.
Yeah.
Adorable guys.
Adorable.
Oh, look at these guys just skating around.
The skate's bigger
the
than
little Brendan Gallagher factor.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great
so it should be interesting. You guys excited for the start of the season, I bet.
First week of October.
It's getting close. And where will you be October 10th? Las Vegas.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That Shane Doan's Pittsburgh birthday bash.
Yeah. Pittsburgh. Oh, really? Think he's going to Pittsburgh?
No, jeez.
Interesting. All right. Well, this has been a great show. Boy, a lot of hockey talk. Yeah. Next week, also a lot of hockey talk. We'll be continuing to update what's going on. And, of course, we're live from Mod Pizza, 75th Avenue and Bell Road, 7480 West Bell Road, Suite 110, Glendale Mod Pizza. We're going to be signing off now, but they're open till 11. You want to be here, enjoy the food. And Rick, the hockey guru, and Greg, you are a hockey guru as well, and I'm considered a yogi. And we'll be seeing everyone next week. Look at our Facebook page, and we'll tell you where we are. Have a good weekend.